Alright. Oh, am I? Oh, no, I can hear it. It begins again. Fast forward.
誰もいない。誰も動いていない。体が動かない。
Skip mode is weird. It like sometimes skips and then sometimes doesn't. I noticed that with the other one. I can't remember which one it was.
僕の名前は西
One
条
of the
匠。
robotics notes ones.
17歳。
I noticed
水明学
skip
園
mode
2
is
年。
weird.
片付けろよな。
It's supposed to stop when you get to something you haven't seen before, but
って僕か。
sometimes it just stops. Like I've seen all this. I'm just trying to get to the part where I know. Oh, what? I don't remember this. What it? Maybe, okay, maybe I should have been paying attention. Sure. Why not? I don't know. Does the name in the chest? I don't know. Does it? I don't. It has been way too long since I played the beginning. Maybe I should just no, because that would take a million years. Sure. It's a white school swimsuit, dark blue. I mean that. I mean, sure. Why not? Yes, yes, yes. Oh my lord. Okay. I've read all this, right? I think. Oh, now I'm worried I haven't, and I'm... This is already falling apart, I think. Oh. Yeah, this is where that guy shows up. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for stopping there, of all places. The last thing I needed in my life. Oh. I swear I remember all this, but I'm gonna trust skip mode and read when it stops sometimes, I guess. At Ad Cafe, shortly past 3 a.m. Like most weekends, despite the late hour, you could hear the sound of the keyboard coming from several places in the cafe. Yeah, I remember this. In room 37, there was a young boy staring into his PC monitor, not moving an inch. He was sitting in the booth's reclining chair, though. He was in a wheelchair. Oh, is this from Shogun's perspective? Interesting. I don't remember if this happened. Oh my god, this game is really making me question reality. It already did, and then it's doing it all over again. Oh god. For the first time, the unmoving boy reacted. His piercing eyes stared into the monitor from deep beneath his cap. He let out a soft whisper, too quiet for anyone else to hear. Interesting. I don't remember this. Once he saw that yeah, this is completely new. Interesting. Once he saw that the person named Grimm had left the chat, he began to act. His wrinkled hands moved toward the keyboard. The boy's goal was to make contact with Nightheart, to warn him, and to make him afraid. His lips twisted slightly. To someone else, it might look like an expression of pain, but in fact he was smiling. Nightheart had reacted to his message. It might not have seemed like that big of a deal, but to him it was a miracle. What? Suddenly, his hands froze. Yeah, I think all this is just, it's the same text, it's just from the other perspective.
思い出して。
Interesting.
君は知らないだろうけど、知っているんだ。
A strange, seemingly meaningless whisper, one that seemed to be directed toward Nightheart on the other side of the screen. He tapped a single formula into the computer, fingers dancing lightly across the keys. The formula. Oh my god. So many links. TikTok, bitch, I got places to be. That's a lie. I don't have anywhere to be. Nightheart stopped reacting. He guessed that the boy, looking at all the links, he'd copy-pasted into the chat. It might not have been a pleasant experience for Nightheart, but there was a reason he had to make sure they were seen.
怖いかい。でもだからこそ。 君は目覚めることができるんだ。
He talked to himself as he typed one last thing. That was the kicker. Whose eyes are those? He left the chat room without waiting to see Nightheart's reaction. Then he took a small breath and tapped lightly on the wall of the little room. He heard the sound of someone standing up in the next room over. The door to his own room, room 37, opened from the outside. A girl was standing there, unsmiling and with a stern expression. She grabbed onto the handles at the back of his wheelchair.
もう一人のあなたとは接触できた。
His voice was calm and natural, but the girl could sense the slightest bit of tension in it.
何か。
This is neat. This is neat, a little extra context, you know?
西条匠に接触してきたのは僕だけじゃなかった。おそらく監視がついている。
そっか。
She said nothing more as she silently pushed his wheelchair toward the front of the At Cafe. All right. So here's, I think I'm gonna do it like this because I don't skip mode is weird. If skip mode stops for a total of 2 lines at a time, I'm gonna assume that's a new thing. But if it's just literally just 1 line, then I think it's just being weird. Oh, that's 2 lines. By the time I arrived at the school gate, there were enough students around me that it was starting to get noisy. Okay, I lied. 3 lines. 3 lines. I don't understand why it does this. It's weird. Okay. So this is where I had to look stuff up because I don't how do people figure this out on their own, man? That's crazy. Just trial and error, I guess, for like their entire lives. I don't know. Okay, so apparently you have to get like do specific ones of these a certain amount of times. This one neutral, I guess. I hated to disappoint Misumi when he was so excited, but I had no intention of going. I opened my mouth to squeak out some excuse, but he wasn't listening.
そしたら犯人とばったり会っちゃったりしてな。犯人は犯行現場に戻ってくるってよく言うだろ。
God, this guy.
で、次はタクがターゲットにされるんだ。
Oh, whoops. I forgot. Yeah, okay. So neutral just seems to skip the delusions altogether. Which is neat. It's just a coincidence. Did I get a choice? I don't remember the choices showing up this early. Everything's wrong now. Yeah, it seems, yeah, whatever. It's not, but I'm gonna say it is. I'm hallucinating. Yeah, sure. Totally. Whoever did it is inside the school. I mean, probably, yeah, it's on the chalkboard. They're taunting me. Also true, yeah. I want to erase it now. I don't remember this at all. This is also probably new. Yeah. Be gone. Yep. The cutoff screen was also pretty funny because of the thing. Skip mode is the thing I was. Yeah. All right, I believe I did. I'm gonna. So for the ones that it doesn't list as like important, where you have to get a specific one, I'm gonna try and remember which one I already did and do the opposite one. So I think I did the bad one. Whoops! I pressed the wrong button. Pressed the wrong button. I pressed the wrong button. Okay. Starting now. Oops. Starting now. I'm gonna pick the one that isn't the one I picked last time, if I can remember. I might not even be able to remember. Who knows? Disgusting. She put her lips right on it. How could a girl be so filthy? This is the problem with 3D women. As soon as she left, I should throw that bottle out. What a monster. Hey, wait. Monster. I bought that soda with my own money. Being my little sister didn't give her the right to. Nanami stared at the now empty bottle in shock. She must have finally figured out how rude she was being. Huh? What was she talking about? These interactions are interesting with the extra context of, you know, everything else. So, they're still funny. Milk tea is basically the same calories as soda. And anyways, you don't get to tell me what to eat. Get lost, loser. Especially after you drank all my soda. Did you come all the way here just to tell me that? Yeah. And then also get you a phone. Purchasing a phone under duress. Alright. I need to check out the memory span of a freaking 2-year-old. Neutral. The neutrality begins. I couldn't take my eyes off of her. It was like I was paralyzed. Suddenly, her lips moved. She was trying to say something. But the noise from the crowd was so loud I couldn't hear it. I strained my eyes to see what she was saying. Whose eyes are those? My hair stood on end. Impossible. I was imagining things. I didn't know how to read lips. There was no way that was right. I shook my head and forced myself to look away. It was clear that she'd said something at least. No matter what it was, doing that to a guy she'd never met was creepy as hell. I needed to stay away from her. I mean, that's true. She's interesting, considering she, like, shows up here, does, like, the whole thing, right? And then disappears for a lot of the game. She's gone. Alright, no. I don't remember what I did for this one. Probably good, so I'm gonna go red. Green v red. I don't remember. I mean, honestly, maybe I should just go neutral the entire time, because that's like the one thing I didn't do for a majority of them. Because I kind of assumed that neutral was just like nothing, and it would just like I was missing something, but maybe neutral is like its own option. I never thought of it that way. Just gonna go neutral. Was she going to ask me to give her a Saratan figure? Well, she couldn't have it. It's mine. Nobody could come between me and my wife. I wasn't going to part with Saratan, no matter who asked, no matter how much money they offered. If she wanted her that bad, she could go buy her own. As I stood there, mentally cursing her for daring to try to take my Saratan, Yua suddenly fell backward and landed on her butt. She was rubbing her behind, looking a little teary-eyed. Oh boy. And hey, going neutral means there's probably gonna be a lot less of the moments. You know, those moments that make me question my will to live. So skip mode is always funny too, like when you're going through to get the other endings. It's always funny because it makes you realize like this was like at least 6 streams, I think, until I got to this point. Like that's like we're now here, it's been less than 20 minutes. That's crazy. Once again, neutral. Okay, I think I went red for this one, and it turned out to like, and this was like the moment where I was like, wait, is that reality? This was like the first one where one of the delusions turned into reality. And it was weird. Alright. Yeah, I'm good until... Okay. Wait a second. What's going on here? I didn't understand. I had this sense of deja vu, but I couldn't remember. Was my memory always this bad? I was pretty good at memorization. I always got good grades on my tests. I was pretty smart. So why couldn't I remember something so important? At least it felt important. Where had I seen them? If I looked at them closer, maybe I could remember. I wasn't sure what would happen if I did remember, but to escape from the awful feeling of not knowing, I almost unconsciously reached out my hand toward the 3 straps. Yua suddenly knocked my hand away. Huh? Huh? As I stared in shock, she looked away from me and awkwardly tried to stand up from the bench. Her hand brushed against her bag, the bag with the 3 Garo Froggy straps. And as if I was watching in slow motion, the bag fell slowly from the bench and landed on the ground. It hadn't been zipped up, so her notebooks and textbooks went spilling everywhere. Yeah, and then we learn she gets angry and terrifying. That face is... that's... not good. Scary stuff. don't remember. Oh, okay. Anything I don't remember, neutral. Neutral status. I need to remember that. I waited for another 3 hours before they finally called my name. It was a different exam room than the one I'd been seen in 4 years ago, but I was welcomed by a face I recognized. He was the very image of a trustworthy older man. He looked older than he probably was, but he had a kind expression, and that kindness came across in his mannerisms and his way of talking. They hadn't changed at all in the 4 years since I'd last seen him. I wondered if he'd even aged at all, not that I was even sure how old he was. The desire to beg him for help grew stronger and stronger within me. He was somebody I could count on. He was somebody who would save me. I was so happy to see him again. Till I heard the first thing he said.
今日はどうしました?
His voice was soft and gentle and put you at ease, but there wasn't the sense of friendliness I'd seen when I came here before. It was like he was talking to me for the first time. I couldn't handle it, so I decided to remind him.
西条です。ん? おお、これはご丁寧に。高階です。はじめまして。
Oh, you, nurse lady. None of that, thank you.
西条さん、起きてください。時間ですよ。
Saratan softly put a hand on my chest and gently shook me awake. I always dreamed this day would come. Oh, that ain't Saratan. That's the last person you want touching your chest. The day when Saratan and I would live together. Every day she'd wake me up wearing nothing but an apron. Then she'd give me a good morning kiss.
西条さん。
Nope, it's just, I slowly open my eyes. It's you. Somebody was looking down at me. Our eyes locked onto each other. It was the nurse, Hazuki. Yeah. I quickly looked around. I was still in a hospital bed. I guess the part where Saratan was talking to me was just a dream. Yeah! Yeah, probably.
結局3時間ぐっすりでしたね。
It's been 3 hours already? It felt like it had only been 5 minutes. As I rubbed my eyes, Hazuki glanced at me. She was covering her hand with her mouth, seemingly on the verge of busting out laughing.
セイラさんって彼
Oh,
女さん？
Christ. Oh no! That's embarrassing!
ずっと寝言でつぶやいていましたから。
Could feel the blood draining from my face. I'd screwed up big time. I'd let a normal person hear me talking in my sleep. Talking my sleep. Did I read that right? I'd let a normal person hear me talking my sleep. And I'd been saying Saratan's name of all things. Time to go kill myself. I feel that way often. It's like, well, this is that time already? Alright, time to go die. Alright, let's see you later. I gotta go. As she spoke, she opened the curtains. And then we carry on. Oh, right, this thing. I don't remember any of the ones I answered last time. Do you prefer to text instead of call? Absolutely not. Do you sometimes have tinnitus? Yeah. Ever felt someone's eyes? Sure. Stationary objects sometimes seem moving to. Sure, why not? I had a premonition that turned out to be right. Nope. Or check the digital clock and seeing the same numbers repeat. Yeah, typically at like 1:11 or like 2:22, you know? 3:33, 4:44, 5:55. Those are usually the only ones. If you cry in the last month, nah. Master using it just no. These questions. Fantasize about something with your eyes open? Sure. I maybe look at the face. Yeah, I've seen that Pikachu card. It's incredible. Difficulty going to the bathroom after watching a horror movie? No, not a fan of haunted houses. I'm not. They're boring and silly usually. Reading a book, do you? I don't read books. Are you kidding me? Think aliens are real? Yeah, they're somewhere. Horoscope, is it always right? Absolutely not. Motion sickness. Nope. You think God exists? Not at all. Do you have a sixth sense? I think we have like several senses beyond the basic ones, you know? We have like I think we have like 9 of them, right? You sleep, dream in full color. Yeah. I usually don't dream though. You sleep, do you understand that you're dreaming? I've done that lucid dreaming. It's very rare and I wish I could do it more because it's cool. Partial memory loss. Often. Trouble making contact with others. Yep, yep. Trouble making eye contact with others could be the name of my fucking autobiography. Does the sight of a lemon make the mouth feel saliva? No, that's weird. Yawn? Yeah, sure. I wonder how that's gonna turn out. Apparently that's what that diagnosis thing in the tips list was. Which makes sense, I just forgot about it. Said it was all the way back here in chapter, what is this, chapter 3, chapter 2? I do like this, even though it's like, you know, we're zooming past in the skip mode. I am getting like a good little like, oh yeah, I remember what's going on here. I remember what's going on here, all right? Just, yeah, cops are onto him. Suspicions arise. Then we're about to meet best girl period ever in anything ever. She's the best. All right, I think this is one of the ones that is important. Yeah, positive. I think positive is the one I did last time, right? Whoops, that's not positive. That is positive. Is this the one I did last time? I guess we'll find out. Yeah. That's right. Naked. Not quite, though. Which is probably good, otherwise I'd probably get in trouble. More positive. Oh yeah, this is where I was talking to this character. I think I did negative last time, and this character was like, "You suck, dude! Stop controlling me, you piece of shit!" I'm paraphrasing, but no, this is gonna be like, he's gonna be like, "Hey, you and me against the world, man. Let's go to the 2D world." I hadn't typed anything into the keyboard, but Nightheart was talking. I thought I was hallucinating and rubbed my eyes, but the text remained on the chat window. The 2D world? You can be a hero too. Let's fight side by side. That's so funny. You're not interested in anything 3D, right? If Nightheart was talking to me, the person inside him, the player, did that mean he had a will of his own? Touch your monitor, and then you can come into Basilard as Takumi Nishijo. The password is... I swear to God, if it's whose eyes are the... Oh my God! Of course it is! Why would it be anything else? That's really funny. I answered, then powered off my computer. Thus putting Nightheart into a temporary coma until I turned it back on. I assume that's how that would work. Alright. Cell phone purchase hostage situation. Oh boy. That one's not nearly as gruesome. I can't remember if this one is it. Nope, this one is not one of the things. I think I'd remember, but I don't. Whoops. All right, we're gonna do neutral. Nooch. Doing that nooch. Look at me more. What? It's giving me more of these like yes no prompts than I remember, and I don't know if that's just because it's like options I didn't pick last time, or if it's specifically because it's a second run through. Because obviously the thing with Shogun in the cafe was like that was almost certainly because like it's a second, like I got an ending, right? Because that was like very clearly referencing stuff that you already know from the end. So I don't know if these yes or no okay, I'm just gonna sure, yes. I'll look deep into your eyes. For her, I wouldn't mind No, I'm good on that, thanks. I wish she'd step on me, actually. Oh my god. Oh, you know what these are? These are, it's here, I just didn't scroll down more. Okay. These are, a thing with the thing. Okay. These are for like other endings, but I'm gonna do what the thing says. It has like a recommended ending order, and I'm gonna trust they know what they're talking about. They have not given me any spoilers, which I appreciate, and as thanks for that kindness they've shown me, I will do what they say and follow their order. I don't want you to step on me. Don't step on me. It's weird. It's gonna run me through, isn't it? I could tell. No, don't hurt me. I'm scared. Don't hurt me. He's gonna kill me with that sword. No, don't kill me. And then more of that. So yeah, I guess that's like that is something that is because it's a second thing that they're like have some more endings and stuff. Some more ending tree. Oh yeah, this is the I believe this is the part where the negative one is she slices his fucking hand off. Both of his hands, I believe. So because of that, because I specifically remember getting the red one, I'm gonna go with the blue. Blue? What? Green. There is no blue one. I think I'm losing my mind. I think I'm losing it. All right. Show me what the green one is. I assume it involves someone taking off their clothes. That just seems to be a common theme with the green delusions.
マジ？何？それって俺のこと？
そこの人。
そこ？
Him on the other side of the screen. Oh, I wish. If only. Who was she talking about? She wasn't pointing anywhere in particular. She was just staring at me. Staring at me and nobody else. Was I the one Fess liked?
この前、ライブに来てたわね。
She came up to me. Her gaze was still locked onto my face. The people around us started to murmur. Everybody was waiting to hear what Fess, the most popular female singer in Shibuya, was about to say.
いや、俺もライブに行って。
Misumi, shut up! You're not relevant.
悟ったわ。
Fess was ignoring Misumi. Appropriate. She grabbed the necktie of my uniform and pulled me close. I was close enough that I could clearly hear her breathing. You could be this close to someone if you had a very special relationship. Not friends, not even family would be good enough. Yes, this was a closeness for lovers.
君が 私の運命の人だ。
She gently stroked my cheek with her hand, the neutral expression still on her face. Something about it made me shudder. I was enchanted by Fess. I couldn't look away.
決めたわ。
Like, keep it wholesome. Don't make it weird, please. I beg of you. This is like, this is fine.
私、君のお嫁さんになる。
Aww. So weird. I'm just like, I'm waiting for it to get weird, and I hope, don't. Oh my god, the cheering. The cheering. That's so funny. The words she said didn't match her flat expression of ennui, but the gap moe this created was very cute. The people around us began to murmur in awe at Fess's de facto declaration of our betrothal. Misumi was so frustrated about losing to me that he dropped to his knees.
僕の意見は無視ですか？
嫌なの？
嫌じゃないです。
Part of me felt like I should think about this more, but marrying a girl this pretty would make the rest of my life a happy one for sure. And thus, the sweet and romantic love story between me and Fess began. Not. That was a wholesome one. Yes! I found it! I found the wholesome one. Ah, why are there not more of those? I mean, I'm sure there are. Phenomenal. That was great. That was super adorable. While I was enjoying my ridiculous delusion, Fess had whispered something and quickly disappeared.
自信なくすぜ。くそー。
Misumi was in a gloomy mood after being completely ignored. If she was able to so easily ignore an approach from a hot guy like him, maybe Fess was a Yuri type. Oh my god.
それは
Misumi,
すごくいいスールです。
I'm starting to wonder, does he matter at all? Like, I'm curious, because in the first playthrough, all the way to the end, he's just kind of there. Does he actually, like, I'm trying to think, does he actually have any relevance whatsoever? I'm like currently racking my brain as to why Misumi matters. I'm not finding anything, honestly. He's just there. Her ideal partner would be a lolly type, like say Nanami. Yep, totally.
あんな不愛想な女、もう二度と相手にしてやるもんかよ。
Get out of here, you dingus.
だいたい何が剣を見つけろだ。わけわかんねえ。
剣。
ああ、岸本がそう言ってただろ。剣を見つけろ。そうすれば救われるって。
Salvation.
なあ、タク。ファンタズムの歌にそんな歌詞でもあるのか？
The sword. Did she mean that thing at the concert? The one that looked like a mic stand? Come to think of it, just 2 days ago, somebody else had asked me about a sword. The hunt for the D-sword begins. Shogun, the demon girl, Yua and Fess, and Senna. They all have swords. No, they don't have swords. They talked about the swords. Find the sword. I do want to say that now that I've seen them all, Senna's sword is still the coolest. Just period. I think this is the one, right? Positive. Or no, did I can't remember which one I did. I think I did negative, so I'm gonna go this one. I think. I hope. Give me some new, no, okay, no. I blow it! Oh no, that was one that was... Oh, that was an important one. I happened to pick the right one though. I thought it was something else. Okay, great. Oh, that would have been embarrassing. That was one I needed a specific one for. I'm glad I blew it. Mission failed successfully. I need to pay more attention to these, otherwise I'm gonna have wasted so much time. I think it auto-saves at chapters, but still. The bangle. Man, that bangle has such new significance now. Like... Okay, this is not a... Which one? What was it? It was... Which one did I pick? Alright, if I can't remember, I'm just going neutral. I remember now. Just going with it. Apparently, I already went neutral. Wow, Maybe I just, like, pressed the... You know, I probably pressed the wrong button. I remember I did that a lot. Alright, this one is... Positive. Negative. Okay, well, glad I checked. This is the scary one. Oh, this is the one that's gonna hurt my ears, right? Couldn't hurt to listen to a message, right? I'm on my way to kill you. I don't know.
ただ、どうしてもお話ししたいことがあって、セイラちゃんの新しいフィギュア、私も買いました。
Oh, this is hardly a negative delusion. What?
西条くんのおかげです。
I'm worried now where this is going.
ありがとうございました。
By the way, I'm right behind you.
とっても可愛いんですけど、ちょっとエッチですね。買うときすごく恥ずかしかったです。あ、そうそう。今週のブラチュー見ました？すごい展開でしたね。私見ながらずっとドキドキしちゃって。この多重人格者。
I was waiting for I was like, how is this? This is so nice and sweet, and then
あなたが殺したの。
yeah, no.
人殺し。真犯人。罪を償いなさい。逃がさないから。
What a immediate 180.
その目、誰の目？
Thanks for the message, you appreciate it. I knew it was just a delusion, and I still felt terrified. It was totally possible that Yua could have gotten my number from somewhere and called me. I didn't really want to listen to the message, but after using a delusion to simulate the worst possible scenario, I was at least ready to try listening to it. I shook off my depression and played the call. I looked around a bunch of times to make sure the demon girl wasn't anywhere nearby, put the phone up to my ear. God. Oh, it wasn't too bad. Just like the worst sound. Man, now now he's gonna keep showing up like he's not a piece of shit. He's just gonna be like, oh, hey, I'm just your average rookie detective. What did I do with this one? I think I went negative with this one, so I'm gonna go with the good one. The happy green. Nobody came out. Maybe there really was nobody here. Okay, if that was the case. Oh yeah, he feels the eyes and then nobody there. I think with the negative one, there's like a robbery and the cops just like start raining bullets into the convenience store. Like it's America or something. What? Did I say that out loud? I picked up the boxed meal and headed straight for the automatic doors. I stood in front of the door. The automatic door opened. I tried to go outside. The cashier finally came out from the back. He was a gloomy, unimpressive looking guy, maybe a college student. He leaned over the counter and glared at me with empty, lifeless eyes. I sighed and headed back to the register. His bow to me was fake and accompanied by a mocking laugh. I snapped. The store was doing a terrible job of training its employees.
しねえ当然タダで持って帰ってもいいよねはあそれとこれとは別じゃないですかあんたの責任なんだからあんたが代金立て替えろよふざけんなニート野郎この
My hand flew out before I even knew it. Yo, rocket punch? A lightning fast punch hit him right in the nose. He flew backwards with a pathetic screech, slamming into the shelf and falling to the ground. It was a beautiful punch, if I do say so myself.
すいません
He got on his knees and bowed to me, his nose bleeding and tears falling from his eyes.
お金は結構さだから帰ってください分かればいいんだよ
Damn. I took 4 pieces of dorayaki from the stand near the register, walked over to the door, satisfied.
二度と来るかバカ
Oh man, what a badass. With the final awesome one-liner, I left the store. Oh, that's a relatable delusion, I think. Like, maybe minus the violence, but like, yeah, that's a very relatable. Like, oh man, I sure showed them in my head. Several minutes had passed while I was lost in my delusion. There was no sign of any employee at all. In the real world, I'd never do any of the Dakun-like things I'd done in my delusion, but I wasn't assertive enough to call out for anyone either. I just stood there in the empty store. I wanted to believe that the cashier was just asleep, so I waited another 5 minutes. But there was still no sign of the cashier or anybody else. There wasn't even any sound. I left and I had, oh, you know, the most traumatic experience of my life. You know, what are you gonna do? Oh. My body, oh, nope, just kidding. Oh, Misumi, you're so relevant. I can't remember what I did here last time, so neutral it is. What should I say? Some kind of normal greeting? They never said hello to anybody, which meant if I started here, it would seem really unnatural. Talk about the transfer student? But I never gossiped with Rimi at all. So if I started now, it would seem really unnatural. This is, oh my god, this is absurdly relatable. It's like, okay, well I can't say this because that would make me seem weird, but I can't, perfectly normal things to say, by the way, just like, well, if I say this, no, that would seem out of place. And, no, you know what? I think the most natural thing for me to do is stand here in silence and say nothing for 20 minutes. I think that's the most natural and, you know, socially normal thing that I could do in this situation. And then I do that. Thank her for the other day? No, should I apologize for being mean even after she'd saved me? Ask her what she was doing there? Oh my god, this is so, oh my god, this thought process is so, I can't, what's the word? Relatable? This is how my brain works. This is how my brain works in social situations. Just like a rapid fire of, oh god, what do I say? Or ask her if she held me close because she liked me? Or maybe ask her what she was doing at the scene of Crucified? No, none of those things were things I could just bring up in casual conversation. Just say nothing, that's completely natural. Damn it, what was I supposed to do? The silence was making the pressure worse and worse. I just needed to say something. It would be even more awkward to just sit here in silence. I knew both those things were true, but the words just didn't come. So true! I feel very called out right now. I hated dealing with the 3D world so much. How could anybody deal with this place? Just trying to talk made you feel like you were choking. I just needed to get home and have Saratan make me feel better.
ね
You lost me there, but Rimi finally spoke. I definitely don't have anime figures on the dresser behind me. Definitely. Don't look back there. My body shivered. I still couldn't look up.
その一昨日はあの後大丈夫だった？
Rimi's voice dropped low. It felt like I could feel her breath faintly tickling my ear. I looked up to see her face was closed, and she was whispering to me. Her body was close to mine. Her soft, warm body that had held me so close in the middle of the road. The sensation of her body filled my mind, and I couldn't think about anything else.
無事に帰れたかなって結構心配した。
I nodded forcefully several times.
そっか。よかった。もうあんな危ないことしちゃダメだぞ。
That was all she said before she turned to go away. Suddenly, I wanted to ask her. She said whatever I'd done was dangerous. What did she think I'd been doing? Just literally creating reality? Don't worry about it. Every scene with Nanami just has this extra bit of like weirdness to it. Every single scene she's in. Instead of the sword, the white chain. Oh, what did I can't remember what I did. Neutral it is. Neutral away. Suddenly I stopped. There was a note of command in her voice. It was like this train car was her personal possession. Of course, I didn't have any intention of going inside. I didn't know who this girl was, and I could barely talk to 3D girls anyway. I didn't want to get involved.
入れと言っている。
Senna's voice was commanding and brooked no dissent. She wasn't moving, but if I made the slightest move to run, there was no telling what she'd do. She might be a really high-level Dokyun, the kind who wouldn't think twice about getting violent with a man. I was scared. But if I was obedient, it just might make things even worse. I had had to deal with Dokyuns a few times in my life. The best thing to do was always to run. Whether you did what they said or not, something awful always ended up happening to you. So the best thing to do was run. I needed to find a way to get out of here. There was no escape. Suddenly, something pushed me forward. I was caught off guard and lost my balance, falling forward like an idiot into the train. Shocked, I turned toward the entrance to see who'd pushed me. There were a lot of people outside, but I couldn't tell which one of them had done it. Maybe they had already run away. Why'd they push me though? Oh man, something smells good. Something smells good. Oh. Why does something have to smell good? I want it. Who'd do something so mean? It hit my knee when I'd fallen, and it hurt a little. I slowly staggered to my feet, being careful not to look Senna in the eye. I love that she just likes popsicles. That's what an incredible detail. There's so many like tiny minor details that seem pretty like irrelevant, but just really like make these characters great. Her popsicle enjoyment is definitely one of them. Alright, neutral status. Let's go. What do I do? What should I do? Oh my god, that face is so scary! I tried desperately to come up with a way to escape from the situation, but it didn't work. I couldn't think clearly. I'd been caught totally off guard, and my mind was going blank.
昨日あなたの家に行ったんですけど、いませんでしたよね。
It's funny also because that voice does not, like, it still sounds like she's happy and pleasant, and that just murder in her eyes.
夜まで待ってたんですけど。うん。で、 でも私を避けようとする西条くんの気持ちはよくわかります。私西条くんのこと騙してたわけだし。
Just leave me alone. I had nothing to say to one of Shogun's servants, particularly the sort of awful person who'd try to trick and trap someone as helpless as me. Yua cast her gaze downward for a moment, as if hesitating, and then she whispered.
その目誰の
Don't stop. Why? I don't know why. Like, even at this point, even though I know all the context regarding that. Well, I guess I don't. I think I know all the context regarding that phrase. Every time they say it, it's just there's just something about it that's just like, stop. Why?
知ってますよね。知らないなんて言わせません。ヴァンパイアのダイイングメッセージです。ネットで公表されたことで渋谷で大流行中の言葉。
That's still
で
really
も
great.
私流行る前から知ってました。ヴァンパイアより前にこの言葉を使っている人がいたから。将軍前に見せましたよね。
Vampire is such a clunky thing to say. I don't know.
ナイトハルト西条君と将軍のチャットログ。そこで将軍が書き込んでました。その目誰の目。
Yep.
そして
She got closer. Her voice was calm and peaceful, but there was a piercing, cold light in her eyes. She was staring at me, unblinking. I looked away.
将軍はあなた、つまり
Which means what?
お願いです西条君。もう
Stop killing people! I didn't do it! Oh, the person in control. Oh, me wasn't me. I another personality who wasn't me. Yeah, that. Skip mode. Why are you being so goofy? I wonder if it's just phrasing, like it just like a word gets switched around and it treats it like I haven't read it before, but I don't get it. Is this one of the things? It is. I need the negative one. Maybe they were all detectives? Oh no, I did do this one. I mean, I don't think these are gonna be... Yeah. Neutral. I don't remember. I think I did the good one. Oh, that's right. I did the good one. Say the good one. The the one that makes a half-naked Fess over in the corner. It was tall and sexy, like a model. All the guys probably liked her. Huh? Oh. Wait, what? Another crazy chick! That's so funny. Yeah. These are interesting. So yeah, that was the whole thing with the second Fess. Doesn't happen if you don't do that. Which is interesting considering that was like a plot point. Or not like a plot point, but that was like a whole like Yua saw the second Fess. So if I interesting. Sword was the one that Fess was waving around during her concert. Maybe that's a second. Maybe that happens later. Maybe that wasn't what I was thinking of. It's a cool sword. Okay, yeah, the second. Okay. But she has clothes on this time. Neat. Fess was standing there wearing a school uniform. Fess was beside me, and Fess was standing in front of the stairs. There were two of the same person in the same place. Shocked, I looked back and forth from one to the other. Their face, build, hair, everything was the exact same. The only difference was their clothes and whether they were holding a sword or not. They weren't twins or anything like that. They didn't just look alike. They were exactly the same.
これも君の妄想よ。
The two fesses said the same thing at the same time. My head was starting to hurt. What was happening right in front of my eyes? Wonder if a lot of that's going to be the same dialogue, but it's going to be different because the fess has clothes now. That's so funny.
なぜこの渋谷という場所は若者たちをこんなにも引きつけると思う？
Fess began to talk about something completely different.
日本、いいえ、世界を見渡してみてもこんな場所は他になかなかないわ。
Did that have something to do with the D sword? If not, I didn't care. I needed Fess how to tell me how to get to a real D sword.
新宿でも池袋でもなくて渋谷、この街の名前
The secret is to almost jump off a building and then don't do it. Felt kind of strange. Maybe Fess had split? Maybe one of them was real and the other wasn't? Maybe they were both fake.
日本中の人たちに刻まれている。
I like how he left out the one option that was actually the case.
なぜかしら。
Why? Well, I didn't care.
ファッションの
Just give me a sword, god damn it!
お店がたくさんあるから。
I just want my S word!
流行の発信者だから。よくテレビに映るから。交通の便がいいから。違うわ。どれ？
Two Fesses paused for a moment. God, she's so fucking cool! I can't get over how cool she is. She's just so cool! Sorry. I felt awkward with a Fess watching me in both front and back.
大いなる意志よ。高知存在。
Another crazy chick!
神による意志な。
Oh no. Could this be... Was I being recruited for some kind of weird cult? I started to panic. I like that that's where he starts to panic. I wasn't sure if I should run, but when she said her next words, that ceased to be an option.
理想度もまたその意志による導きよ。
Gimme sword. Oh my god, this motherfucker. I hate that. I hate it. It makes me so mad. Green status. Whoop. I left the classroom and raced to the front entrance of the school. But of course, I didn't forget to walk along the side of the hallways with my head down. The bell had rung a little while ago, so the only kids left were the ones on cleaning duty or in clubs and on sports teams. There was something slightly lonely and nostalgic about a school after the last bell rang. It didn't matter if it was an old wooden school or a newer one like Suime Academy. Not that I've ever been to an old wooden school outside of an H-game. As I lost myself in thoughts of H-games with wooden school buildings, I could see a strange silhouette at the end of the hallway. It was a girl, slowly walking with two big cardboard boxes in her hands. They were so big I couldn't see her face. She probably couldn't see in front of her either. It was incredibly dangerous. In an H-game, this would be my cue to run into her and start her route. I thought about doing it, but I didn't actually try. If anything, I was really cautious around her. There was a decent chance she was one of Shogun's assassins. I had to stay away from her. I had to be careful. I watched her feet closely. Don't take that out of context. She was getting closer, staggering to the right, and then staggering to the left. Stagger to the right. Stagger to the left. I was walking on the left side of the hallway. When she headed toward the right, I picked up my pace. I managed to get past her without problems. But then, when I heard something fall and looked down, I saw a student notebook. I stopped. Had the cardboard box girl dropped it? I stared at it, trying to think. My first instinct was to be suspicious. Why had she dropped her notebook just now? The timing was too obvious. It felt like she was trying to make me pick it up. Could it be a trap? Had she dropped it deliberately? She was holding the boxes with both hands. She didn't have a hand free to do anything. If her notebook had been in her skirt pocket, it would be impossible for her to take it out and drop it on the floor deliberately. But I hadn't seen where it had come from. Maybe the cardboard box girl had it in her hand the whole time and was using the boxes to hide it. Also, I love that she's just cardboard box girl. It's very funny. I couldn't be sure. Maybe it wasn't deliberate. Most people would assume it was just a coincidence. I watched the cardboard box girl to see what she'd do. Or tried, rather.
Huh?
Just then, she'd rounded a corner. I'd only seen her from behind for an instant. It wasn't anybody I knew. Probably. Her hair seemed short. Maybe? No, it also seemed long. I couldn't be sure. Is this Schrodinger's cardboard box girl? Of course, I hadn't seen her face. It had been hidden by the boxes when we passed each other. The hallway was empty, except for me and the student notebook. The normal thing to do would be to pick it up and take it to the teacher's office, or run after the cardboard box girl and bring it to her, but I was hesitant to do that. I looked around. There weren't any other students nearby. I could hear a group of girls laughing in the distance, but that was all. It was hard to believe this could be a trap. The person who owned it was already gone. What could they do to me? Was there a miniature bomb attached to it? No, that was ridiculous. So even if I picked up the notebook, nothing bad would happen to me. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that had to be right. Just in case, I should check who the girl was. She might be working with Shogun after all. I could check her class, her photo, her name, and then put it right back on the ground. I certainly wasn't going to waste my time going after her. No, that's Schrodinger's cardboard box girl. You can't look at her face, otherwise the possibilities will collapse into a single. The probabilities will collapse into a single continuity. Whatever. This bit is dumb. After taking several glances around to make sure nobody was nearby, I picked it up and flipped to the first page. Oh my god, it really is. It really is. Schrodinger's cardboard box girl. I quickly threw the notebook to the floor. The hell was that? I had this awful, creepy feeling in the pit of my stomach. It wasn't scary as much as it was sickening. Somebody had set this whole thing up to get at me. Who would do this? It had to be that girl. She was working with Shogun after all. I knew it. I'd only seen the inside of the notebook for a second, but its owner's name, birthday, class, everything that was supposed to be on the first page was blacked out. The photo had been ripped out too. I felt sick. I suddenly felt like throwing up. I wanted to get out of here as soon as I could. I ran for the stairs, hands over my mouth. By the time I made it to the courtyard, I couldn't hold it in anymore. The second I dropped my... Oh my god. This game has a real knack for just hitting you with the ickiest sounds. Just yuck. I do remember which one I did here, unfortunately. Okay, so this one is... I'll go with the red, scary version.
Hi?
Snap it in half? Where did that come from? I thought Rimi wasn't the type of girl to do something so Dokun-like. Rimi ignored my confusion and continued talking.
その CD を持ってる人は呪われちゃうの。タク、 知らなかったでしょ。私の調べた情報によるとね、ニュージェネの被害者はみんなその CD を買った人なの。フェスの予言は CD を買った人にだけ当てはまるフェスの呪いなの。
That's so silly. That's impossible.
ニュージェネ事件は全部フェスの仕業。急がないと。次に死ぬのはタクだよ。おーい。
That's so silly. Suddenly, I came back to my senses. Rimi waved her hand in front of my face, looking confused.
どうしたの？急に意識がどこかに飛んじゃってたみたいだけど。
あ、いや、なんでも。
Oh, it was just a delusion. That scared me.
その調子だと話聞いてなかったでしょ。じゃあもう一回言うけど、私のお気に入り CD を貸すっていうので手を打ってくれないかな。
は？
ねえねえ、いいでしょ？お願いします、この通り。
あ、
Well, this is how it would actually happen in reality, right? I nodded, and she gave a little cheer of joy. It was so funny that I couldn't help but laugh, despite the danger I was in. Down in that tunnel, I'd seen her split into two. I hadn't seen the moment it had happened, but when I'd turned around, there was another ISA. And I'd seen her pull the D-sword out from nowhere, too. That wasn't a hallucination or a delusion. After seeing that, I couldn't call her crazy. But there was also what she'd said. So that strange thing I'd witnessed had happened because I'd seen it in my delusions? D S word. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Was that what ISA had meant by power? The power to project delusions into reality. And it was the possible that I had it. Yeah, Fess's sword is definitely a close second for, like, coolest. But this is just so cool. I love the split. I said it a million times. I'm just a sucker for that type of sword. So cool. Oh god, I can't remember what I did here. Neutral it is. I went and picked up the D-sword. Oh, that's... I remember what I did. I went and picked up the toy D-sword in the corner of the room. I stood in the middle of the room and held it out in front of me, in the best approximation of an ESO character that I could do. Okay, time to envision a sword. Rimi was looking at me. Our eyes met. Well, this is awkward. She was grinning. I could feel my face getting warm. I picked up the sword and posed with it, forgetting that there was someone else in the room with me. In Rimi's eyes, I must look like a total weirdo. Maybe. Crap. I put down the sword. I was too embarrassed to look at her. I wanted to be anywhere in the world but where I was standing right now. Or maybe I could just get her to pretend she'd never seen it? I was willing to beg if I had to. But Rimi decided to just make things worse. Is she gonna play along? She seems like the type who'd play along. I shook my head. Again, I shook my head. I nodded fiercely. Yes! I shook my head back and forth violently. Oh, come on. I just told her I wasn't pretend fighting. Because I'm embarrassed, obviously. She'd seen something I really didn't want her to see. This must be what it felt like when a girlfriend found her boyfriend's porn.
タクってさ、
Was she disgusted by me? No, she's playing along. She's funny. This is the worst. I had to find some way to help her realize it was a misunderstanding.
かわいいね。かなりキュンときちゃったな。今のは。
She picked up the Sayretan body pillow that was next to my computer chair and was hugging it tightly. I thought she was making fun of me, but from the way she was acting, she was serious. Did that mean that Rimi had found me moe for a second? I was relieved. She hadn't started hating me. Good. What did she say? Oh god, what did she just say? Okay. I don't remember what I did. Neutral it is. Like, you'd think the closer we get to the... Like, the further along we get, the more recent I would have done it, so it'd be easier to remember. And yet, it's not. My brain doesn't work properly. I glanced over at Rimi, unsure of what to say. Wait, you can't sit like that. It's not fair. The way she was sitting with her legs... Oh my god. Stop. I remember this. We did this already, right? We did this. No, stop. I don't want to read these things. My eyes kept heading toward the triangle at the base of her thighs. Why is it the V zone? That's... Oh, I know why. It just... But why? I know why, but why? I tried desperately not to give in to the temptation. The way she was sitting reminded me of the cover of a famous H game. It was called Thrown Away Sister. It was famous enough to get an anime. Its first edition packaging had the heroine sitting just like Rimi was now. That illustration was so moe. Yeah, you should tell her that. I'm sure she'd be very interested in what you have to say about that. I'd even used it as my PC wallpaper for a time. Oh god.
タク。
はい。
This guy. Oh, am I dropping frames? Why am I dropping frames? No, stop dropping frames. Stop that. Behave yourself, computer. Why you gotta be suck? Crap, I'd let my panic show in my voice. But you can't blame me, right? There's a 3D girl right next to me, looking up at me questioningly. It's so cute. I'm gonna die of moe. She's not even 2D. But even though my libido was roaring at full power, Rimi's next words were...
タクは自分の未来を考えたことある？例えば、人を含めて全ての生き物は生きてるだけで何かを傷つけてるんだよ。
There was sorrow in her voice. What was she trying to say?
わかる？
だから
Yeah, that has like a whole different meaning now. That is like that holds a lot more weight.
だからね。
Having the information we have
無理
at this point.
しないでいいからね。
Did she mean I didn't have to force myself to go to school? Or that I shouldn't force myself to spend hours grinding in ESO and instead try to lead a healthier lifestyle? Yeah, that's exactly what she means. Yep. Or maybe even that I shouldn't force myself to stay in control. And if I wanted to take her right here, I could. Dude. My guy. Nah, that last one was impossible. Wee-hee-hee. Wee-hee-hee. She stretched expansively, then jumped to her feet. The hem of her skirt was waving right in front of me.
私、喉乾いてきちゃった。
Eyes up here, mister.
何か飲み物ある？
I
stood up and headed over to where the fridge was, but Nanami drank all my soda. I looked down into the fridge. I had a thing of soda, but I'd already drank from it. Giving it to her would be weird. I guess he restocked. That's fair.
ないなら買ってこようかな。コンビニって深センの駅前にあったよね。
I could sense Remy standing up behind me.
ちょっと行ってくる。
Bye. She smiled and left the room without waiting for my answer. Ooh, being alone with a girl is exhausting. And Remy, I don't know if she realized it or not. Probably not, but the way she acted sometimes was bad for my heart.
Kunka kunka.
Oh my god, stop. I sniffed the area of the room. It smelled of flowers, or at least it seemed like it did. This is what a girl smelled like. This was Remy's scent. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in.
最低だ。
Oh, it's even weirder. I sunk into my chair, disgusted at myself. I was supposed to be sitting here, terrified of Shogun and Yua, and now I was all excited. Oh. Yes. That was funny. Okay, that was weird. Alright. Negativo. Or... wait, maybe not. Yeah, I think this is the one. Right? Yeah, I did that one. Every time I see him, I just get sad. Why you gotta hurt me like this, game? Why you gotta hurt me like this? My boy. Beep. Beep. Sending you a present. This is gonna make the present the best present ever. Oh, I must have done that already. I don't remember what it was, but apparently I did it. I don't know what you're talking about, lady. Neutral. I all of a sudden I don't remember any of these. Oh no, I do remember. I remember I did the positive one when she gets all like submissive and it's weird. Senna's hot breath tickled my cheek. Her face was so close I was worried she might bite me. She might. She crazy. She's scary. Why was this woman so violent and scary, huh? Save me. Somebody save me.
お前は天聖信仰会と関係があるのか
Gua? The cosmic what?
その力を誰から教わった
Senna's voice sounded tense. I'd never heard her like that before. But I didn't know what she meant. All I could do was frantically shake my head.
あんなのありえない理想度なしでエラーを現実にするなんてお前はその力のことを誰に教わったんだ
Listen, I totally have a D sword. I just it's in the shop, you know. It's they're buffing it out, you know. Nobody had taught me anything, but if anyone had, it was
あやせ
I couldn't breathe. I was going to suffocate. I was passing out, dying. I couldn't stay awake. Just before I passed out, Senna suddenly let go of me. I collapsed where I stood. I coughed and tried to force as much air into my lungs as I could. What the hell was going on? Was Senna my enemy after all? Was she working with Shogun too? If so, I had to get out of here.
本当に天聖信仰会とは関係ないんだな。
What the hell was the Cosmic Church of the Divine Light? I'd never even heard of them. Senna saw my confusion and looked momentarily annoyed, but finally stopped glaring at me. She sighed.
悪かった。関係ないならいい。
She didn't sound apologetic at all, and she turned to leave. As she turned to leave is what it actually said. Oh, you... What the... Kick you out of the window. Suicide... Is this different, too? Oh, are we gonna get, like, some... Fucking, like... Some Sua action? Where he's like, she's gonna leave, and he's gonna be like, Mwahaha. Oh, God. Oh, actually, no, she's fucked up, too. I don't know. Alright, I need to just continue. Suicide, and the bothered expression vanished from Hazuki's face. Oh, they totally are! These motherfuckers, they're both fucked up. I forget, like, I'm gonna be honest, I was so angry at him, just every time I see this motherfucker, I see him and I get furious. I literally forgot that she's also fucked up, and of course they're... These... I forgot. Yeah, of course, because he did the crucified and she did the pregnant man. Like, of course they're in cahoots. These two. I don't know why it just clicked. Oh, these pieces. The two were suddenly speaking as if they were friendly with each other. There was something in their words that made it clear that they'd known each other for a long time.
西条匠のオリジナルは見つかったか？
いいえ、この病院内にいることは分かっているのに。
Oh, interesting. So they like full on know.
これ、カルテよ。
But they just
彼
can't
は
find
有
it.
病
That's
だわ。
neat. She handed him the chart, despite her reluctance to do it a moment ago. Oh my god. She'd had it on her, as if she'd known he was going to come.
助かる。じゃあ予定通りに大フロントに奴を誘導して覚醒させるか。
Oh, so they were the fake Shogun. I mean, that makes sense.
接触するの？
ああ、顔は隠すけどな。
He gave her a mischievous smile, then gave her a quick kiss on the lips. Ooh.
コスプレしてパーティーに出発だ。
So he was Darth Spider all along. Oh, I hate that. I hate that guy. I hate him so much. But that was interesting. I did not, I mean, it seems pretty obvious in retrospect, and I probably should have put it together, but you know, I'm me, so of course I do. Whose phone was ringing? Okay, I picked the green one, which made her like, she was like in the rafters or some shit. We'll go red for the sake of, you know, differentness. Nanami hadn't picked up yet. Come on, pick up already. She picked up.
ななみでしょ。 返事しろよ。
I mean, what's the negative delusion gonna be? How's it gonna be worse than what actually happens? Or is it just gonna be what actually happens? I can see that.
大丈夫なの？何か言ってよ。ナナミ
I screamed into the phone, and then a voice spoke.
少しは落ち着いたら？
That voice was Shogun.
なんて。
I gasped in shock. I couldn't figure out why Shogun would answer when I called Nanami's phone. All I could do was repeat the same thing like an idiot.
なんで。
メールの意味がわからなかったのかな。
信じない。こんなの信じない。
That's right, I didn't believe it. It was a delusion. My own delusion of what the worst case scenario would look like. Ah yes, the worst case scenario. But the reality wasn't too far off. Nanami still hadn't answered, and somebody's phone was ringing in my room. It was a cheerful melody, and complete opposite of my own mental state. I felt awful. Nanami's phone had to be in my room. It was the only explanation. I couldn't think of any other way to explain it, and I couldn't avert my eyes from reality anymore. Yeah. Takami's, he's having a rough go. At least somebody's giving him a hand, you know? I hate that I said that. I hate that I said that. I really wish I hadn't said that. Ugh. Who was this one? Oh god, why did I say that? Neutrality time. Psychic boy! It was like a crowd chant at a soccer or volleyball game. It really does sound like that. I knew, yeah. All the Dokuns in Scramble Crossing started to chant. Did they all have a meeting in advance to arrange this? Or was Shogun mind controlling all of them? They were all raising their hands, shouting the same phrase in perfect unison. They were insane. I shivered. The chant continued. Between the chants, I could hear the Dokun girls screaming at me. When I listened closer, they were all making fun of me. They were all just laughing and enjoying my misery. All they cared about was their own fun. This was a big festival, and I was the sacrifice. And all they cared about was joining in the big party. They were all Dokun scum. Nobody was going to save me. They all wanted me to die here. Their mass psychosis was going to kill me. And they weren't doing it out of hatred or anger, but just for fun. Yeah, that's terrifying. Oh, hey, look, a sword. I found an S word. Yeah. Yeah. Grab that S word. Alright. So I picked green, which made Seiritan be the worst person ever. The worst friend. Red. Let's see what happens. Let her rip. What nightmare fuel awaits me? Nanami.
じゃあはっきり言ってあげる。ナナミッチが死んだっていいじゃん。
Oh, wow. I thought she was bad before. Shit. Huh?
タッキーは自分の命よりナナミッチの命の方が大事なの？
Nanami. Nanami is my little sister. I care about her.
でも突き詰めれば他人っしょ？死んだら悲しいけどそれだけ。
Oh, wow.
タッキーに何か害を及ぶ？
No, that's not true. What the fuck?
自分の命と他人の命とどっちが大事？死んだらさ、世界が終わるんだよ。タッキーにとっての世界が終わるの。わかる？死んだらあとは何も残らない。
Wow, so they both turn. Goddamn. And like with Green, she's like, you know, you can use her death to get pity from everybody, and it'll be great. Your life will be wonderful. And then here it's just it's just full mask off. Nanami sucks. Let her die. Your life is more important. Fuck her. That's
死後の世界なんて
interesting.
ない。
Now I'm curious what the neutral
生まれ
answer
変わる
would
こと
be.
もない。ただタッキーっていう一人の動物の生命活動が終わってタッキーはもう世界を観測できなくなるんさ。それって世界が終わるってことっしょ？つまりさ、タッキーが死んだらタッキーが観測してたナナミッチもどうせ消えるってことなんだよ。ナナミッチだけじゃない、リミッチもアヤセッチもそれにアタシもみんな消える。でもナナミッチが死んだだけならタッキーは消えないで済むしタッキーの世界も消えないで済むんさ。
Oh, so it's just Sarah sucks in every eventuality, huh? She's just the worst.
来年発売予定のブラチューのゲームも私の新作フィギュアもちゃんと買える世界が残るんさ。ねえタッキー、死にたい？
This is so fucked up.
死にたくない？
Sarah, you suck. You're the worst. Darth Spider, you're also terrible. Come on. I'm still sad. It says I need at least 11 of these. I think I've done at least 11, right? I haven't been keeping track. I'm just doing what the website says, like a good little sheeple. I also don't remember what I picked for this one last time. Red, apparently. My heart never stops being broken every time I see him. Yasujiban, my glorious goober. It still hurts. I'll never stop hurting. Let's see. I think... Oh yeah, this one I picked the green one, and it turned out really uncomfortable. It had a little... There was a really funny ending to it, though, because she was there. So we'll go red. I assume kill them all, right? Like, considering the context of this one, where he's like, oh, what is the point of anything? And then in the green one, he does that thing. And then with the red, I assume he just kills them all. For instance, I could scream and get up out of my chair and start attacking one of the Dukuns. Just one of them? Only one? It'd probably feel good to give one of those assholes what was coming to them. Yeah, let's go. Grab a pencil, shank away. I don't think I'm getting the right message from this. I slowly stood up. The Dukuns were grinning at me, unaware that the hammer of justice was about to fall on them. And actually, considering what we know, considering the type of mentality Kozupi has, she's probably gonna enjoy this one quite a bit because she can see all of this. So she's gonna enjoy this because she's also prone to terrifying violence. So, you know, she'd be all in. I picked up my chair. Holding it above my head, I walked over to the Dokun who was the first to make fun of me. He was so shocked and the grin was still plastered on his face. Pardon? Crunch! I brought it down hard on his head. I could feel the impact reverberate through the chair and into my body. He collapsed, a pool of blood spreading out beneath him. There was silence in the classroom for a moment. And then chaos. The boys and girls screamed, looking at me with terror in their eyes as they fled. I took a moment to enjoy their fear, and then brought the chair down again at full force on the unmoving Dokun. I hope that Kozupi shows up in this delusion too, and like joins him in his crusade, just for like a second. He like looks over and she's also killing them, and then he wakes up. I hope that's what happens. But he was either unconscious or dead because there was no sound coming out of his mouth. I started to get scared. If I didn't finish him off here, he might get up and attack me. He was a Dokun, so he might have a knife in his bag or something. My life was already over, but that didn't mean I wanted to suffer any pain. I had to kill him. I couldn't stop until I was sure he was dead. I hit his head a third time with the chair. And then again. And again. And again. And then one more time. No. Okay. I stayed in my seat. Seat? What? That's not even a word! Now I'm adding words that aren't even words! I stayed in my seat, looking down at my desk and enjoying my delusion. Wait, that was awesome. I've been indulging in a little splatter horror. I wish I could really kill them, though. Wish I really could kill them, though. What? Yeah, there we go. The whiplash of emotion I feel when these two show up. It's like, oh, argh! Oh, what did I do with this one? I don't remember. I don't remember. Maybe my brain had been pushed so close to the brink that I had to make another personality to survive? Maybe I did have multiple personalities, like US said. Oh yeah, I picked the red. I think at this point I started picking the red ones just like consistently because the green ones scared me. Which, you know. I'd heard once before that normally, different personalities couldn't communicate with each other. Maybe I was the exception? I was getting so tired of this. Was I eventually going to start hearing the voices of other personalities too, besides this obnoxious Kozupi one? This is really funny. It's like, I'm not you! I'm me! How many personalities were inside me anyway? I'd read in some book that there was a patient with 24 personalities somewhere in America. And what was more, I didn't even know if my personality was the primary one. A different personality might be the actual owner of Takumi Nishijo's body. As I stood there in shock, the transfer student poked me. As she did, she tried to whisper something, but seemed to fail. Instead, she nervously raised her hand. Kozue Orihara. I vaguely remembered hearing the name a long time ago from Misumi. Oh yeah, Misumi. He exists. Kozue. Kozupi. No way. So you're sending this voice directly inside my head? She nodded again and again, as hard as she could.
テレパシー。
仕組みはよくわかんないのら。でもできるの。
That's impossible. Let's continue doing it. The way it just makes her face just go. Very funny. Let's see. I picked the red one last time, so green away. I believe she chops him in half. The red one just slice. Her sword is lame. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like her sword. Like do I need to make a tier list of D-sword tier list? I'm sure that exists. Someone made it. But I guess yeah, mine would be Senna, ISA. Kozupi's would be down at the bottom because it's just a slab. Come on. Like where could she be keeping so much power in her tiny body? It had to weigh more than 5 kilograms by my estimate. Kozupi must have read my doubts because she turned toward me and gave me a hesitant smile. Please don't make me regret picking the green one. Please.
Hi.
It's not what I was expecting her to say at all. Did you just say android? What anime is that from? Kozupi ignored my shock and made a cute little fist with one hand. Is she gonna shoot a rocket punch? Do it, rocket punch. That's really funny. Oh my god. Stop, don't make it weird. I see. That would be handy. I was willing to accept that Kozupi was an android. Maybe. But for that to happen, there was one thing I wouldn't budge on. Oh my god. Stop. No. Stop. Why? You had me with the android thing. That was funny and neat. Now, why must you do this? Also, the real one is watching this entire thing play out. She knows. She knows all of it. I asked my question hesitantly. Only after I spoke did I realize how ridiculous a question it was. Pretty absurd. As I was wondering whether or not to apologize, Kozupi's cheeks flushed. Why? Yes! No. I had a combat maid, and one that could service me at night, too. Just like an H game. Talk about coming loaded with options. Japan's technology is the best thing in the world. Okay, see, now I have to go kill myself. No, I guess I can do it later. As I indulged myself in a ridiculous delusion, Kozupi was walking around the shop, holding her sword. She wasn't making any effort to hide the weapon at all. Senna had been the same way. I'd seen her carrying her gigantic D-sword down the middle of Shibuya without any regard for the people around her. They didn't seem to care that other people might stare. Both Senna and Kozupi had something very wrong with them. Also, nobody can see the sword. Okay, he doesn't know this now, even though I think he does. I don't know. It's very inconsistent with like they learn a thing, he learns a thing and then forgets the thing and then learns the thing again. This is a relevant one, I believe. Yeah. Relevant.
Uh, よかったら
Gigalomaniac Trio. Did it say that last time? That's really funny. Also, it's weird that it's like printed on it. Like, don't you want to keep that on the DL? That picture's great though. I am Isumi. Like, I am here too. Hi. Fun. Don't go. We love you. Sadness. Remy asked me for the impossible shit. What? Okay, what? I don't remember this one either. I think I'd remember. It was like, I mean, at this point, we've reached the point where like, this is like less than a couple weeks ago that I did this one, or that I was at this point. All right, yeah, just go neutral. Nooch.
おっと、
Nooch it up.
ここまで行ったのになおも無視しますか。
Oh yeah, I always remember right after. I think I did the red one where she gets mad and like, I'm a pouty teenager. And it was like, it got really real for some reason. I could hear Remy standing up. She walked over to me and grabbed the toy D sword off the table. Ignoring my confusion, she raised it high above her head.
そんなタクにはこうだ。
Pop. And she brought down the sword. Oh god, she gotta cleave him in twain. Of course, she was joking, instead of being serious. But the tip of the sword was stabbing into my back.
え、うりゃ。
She began to whack me on the head with it, and when I tried to brush it away, she skillfully dodged my hand.
ねえねえ、もっと楽しいことしようよ。じゃないと本気で切っちゃうぞ。
楽しいことって
Remy was bringing down the sword to chop my head off. She paused in mid-strike and thought.
じゃあゲームとか。ほら、タクは得意でしょ。対戦ゲームしようよ。私そういうのやったことないから、いろいろ教えてほしいな。
Unfortunately, I was about to say, does he have any other games besides ESO and, you know... Fortunately, the only games I had were H games and ESO. Neither of them had a two-player mode.
無理だよ。ソフトがなくて。
I grabbed the sword by the blade and pushed it away. Remy pouted, upset, and put the sword back where it had been.
だって、せっかく久しぶりに会えたのに。
I appreciated the sentiment, but right now I just didn't feel like having fun with Remy.
メールだよ。ボケなす。今の何？
いや、
Awkward. Remy had just heard my Saratan email voice. That was really embarrassing. I never stopped feeling just a wave of hate whenever I see that guy's stupid face. And then a wave of depression as I see this guy's beautiful face. No. Sadness. Did the weird one with the underwear and such, so do this one, which
どこ行
probably
った
involve
の
violence of some kind.
さあ
Some kind of violence. The window was open. The wind was blowing into the room, making the white curtains billow. I wandered over to the window. I didn't go to look at anything. I didn't go to close the window. It was just a sudden urge with no real reason behind it. I stood at the window and went to look up at the sky. Then I saw a shadow. Something fell down silently from above. For a second, my eyes met with its own. The shadow disappeared. I heard the loud sound of something smashing into my... What? I heard the loud sound of something smashing into something below.
なんだ
I collapsed where I stood. My body started to shake violently. I'd realized what it was that I'd just seen. Ayase Kishimoto, pulling a Spider-Man. She'd fallen from above and then hit the ground. Oh, no, she wasn't pulling a Spider-Man. She was doing something else. I looked out the window. I'd see her there, covered in blood, brains splattered all over the pavement. Just before she died, our eyes had met. I was the last person to see her. And I was the last person she saw while she was alive. An awful scream poured from my mouth as I put my hands to my head in terror. Why did I think she was hanging like Spider-Man? Like when she appeared and then disappeared, in my brain she went down and then went back up like Spider-Man. But no, the more natural conclusion is that she was falling. Like I just my brain. Why does my brain do this? I looked up in shock when Misumi said my name. I was standing in the corner of the room, nowhere near the window. I ran over to the window and looked out. Ayase was nowhere to be seen beneath me. Ooh, it was just a delusion. I almost collapsed where I stood, but managed to grab onto the windowsill. And then we continued skulking about and looking through her things. Hazuki, nope. Just kidding. What you doing in my house? Oh yeah, this one was weird too. It like started wholesome and I liked it, and then it devolved into degeneracy. So we'll go with the red one and likely get a different kind of degeneracy. For some reason, it's a more palatable degeneracy for me. I don't know why. Let's see. Oh, I was supposed to. It only says you only need 11, so I think I'm good on getting the specific ones. I hope. I hope that's the case. Otherwise, I have to redo entire chapters, and I don't want to do that. Yeah, so I think I'm okay. I didn't. So he passed by me. He put his hand on my shoulder. Nah, she's the best. He let out an annoyed sigh and went to leave the room.
待って。
Wait, I have to kill you first. ISA finally spoke to him for the first time, but for some reason there was a stern look on her face.
逃がさないわよ。
あ
You won't be getting out of here
何
alive, I'm afraid.
俺の相手してくれんの？
ええ、そうね。あなたが邪神王の使いだということは分かっている。
What? Was this some new part of her fantasy? Misumi looked really annoyed to be forced to play a role in whatever was going on in her head. Most people would be. Even as a joke, it wasn't funny at all. I think it's kind of funny. But ISA was, it seemed, dead serious.
匠。
ISA said my name and then tossed me a small paring knife. Oh my god. She must have been hiding it beneath the sheets. Confused, I fumbled and grabbed it. There was a cover on it, thankfully, or I would have cut myself badly.
そいつを殺すのよ。
I don't know why that's funny. That's not funny. I mean, it's funny. As she spoke, her gaze was locked on Misumi. Dude, this guy, so that's what this guy's purpose is. He exists to be the butt of every, like, ISA delusion joke. I think that's literally his entire purpose as a character. I think I found it. He exists to be dunked on by ISA at every turn. That is his purpose. What the hell was going on here? I held the knife in my hand with no idea what to do.
おいおい。
You know what to do.
殺せときたか。
You know what to do.
いくらなんでも、それはひどくね？まあ、岸本に嫌われてんのは分かってたけどよ。まさか面と向かって、そんなこと言われるとは思わなかったぜ。それで、なんだっけ？グラビトーン？邪神？
Gladitron. It's heresy you speak.
なんのこと
Wicked
だか
hats.
俺にはさっぱりわかんねえんだけどな。たく、とりあえずナイフを置けよ。岸本の妄想に付き合うな。
妄想じゃないわ。匠、そいつの言葉を信じないで。
Misumi took a step away from ISA, his lips pressed tight with fear.
お前、異常だぜ。
匠、早く殺すのよ。でないとグラジオールに君の存在が筒抜けになってしまうわ。
I quietly gave the knife back to ISA.
匠。
Oh, lame.
君の言ってることは
I kid.
めちゃくちゃだよ。
She looked up at me with sorrow in her eyes. Don't look at me with those eyes. I can't kill Misumi. He's so important. All this stuff about Gladiator didn't matter. If I killed somebody, I'd be a criminal. There was no way I was going to let that happen. That was all.
さすが親友。お前なら俺を選ぶって信じてたぜ。たく。
Misumi patted me on the shoulder. And subtly, very subtly, his hand went for the knife on Ayase's lap.
じゃあな。電波女。
Oh, you bastard. In a single smooth movement, he grabbed it, slid off the cover, and swung it. Blood spurted out from Ayase's neck. I could feel its heat as it fell on my face. Ayase's eyes were wide with shock, staring at me. She slowly fell backward onto the bed. The white sheets began to turn red with blood. Kiss me, you bastard.
やっちまったな。
Oh, Christ.
今のが最後のチャンスだったんだぜ。グラジオール復活を阻止するために。な。
I couldn't even scream.
正しかったのは岸本の方だったってわけだ。
As he spoke, he climbed on top of Ayase. He dug the knife into her eye socket. Oh my god, I don't want to say this. I mean, it was all fine and dandy when we were just slashing necks and whatnot, but now we're doing this? dug the knife into her eye socket and ripped out her eye without the slightest hesitation. Her body didn't move at all, even as the knife went in. Well, yeah, I think she's dead. He glanced at me, smiling cruelly.
その目誰の目?
Well, I believe the answer to that question is Ayase's. You took them from her. It's not as much a hypothetical when you're literally taking someone's eyes, and it's just a matter of possession. That was a weird one. I came back to my senses. Ayase wasn't covered in blood. She was just sitting on the bed, and Misumi was nowhere to be found. Yeah, he bounced. Is that a delusion? I let out a deep sigh. What an awful delusion. Feeling guilty, I apologized to Ayase in my mind. I'm sorry I didn't kill Misumi for you. I now realize the error of my ways. I know I should have done that. Ayase, for her part, was still rambling. She hadn't noticed anything at all. Oh, that's so... I believe I picked red, so green. Just swippity swapping now. I'm remembering what I did last time so I can do the opposite. Love that feeling. What did that mean?
マジで? 宣戦布告ってやつか?
Keep it wholesome, keep it wholesome, keep it wholesome, keep it wholesome. Rimi smiled. She was giving me nervous glances.
そしたら見事に叩かれたんだけどさ。
すげえ。女の戦いだな。
I feel like that's my catchphrase when it comes to these games in general. Just like I want like a big neon sign that says "Keep it wholesome," because that's the best when it stays wholesome, and so often it just doesn't. Misumi put his hand in my hair and rubbed hard.
おいタク、どうすんだよ、
What did that mean exactly? I didn't understand. My mind had gone blank.
告られてんだぞお前。もう付き合っちまえよ。
Misumi laughed and gave me a push from behind. I was caught off balance and staggered forward, right in the direction of Rimi. Keep it wholesome. I ended up bumping into her and wrapping my arms around her.
ごめん。
My heart was pounding fast. Rimi's body was so soft and warm.
タク、私。
I tried to back away from her, but her hands were wrapped tightly around my back. She was holding me tight, trembling. I was stunned. Felt like I'd been struck by lightning. I could feel Rimi's love for me as her body pressed up against mine. I wanted to love her back. I wanted to make her mine, and mine alone. I went to pull her even closer when I saw someone behind her in the distance. I really hope that this plays out exactly like the other version, where it's like the last one in the red version, Rimi accuses her of being the killer, and she's like, I can't let you escape, and then she kills them all. I really hope that this plays out exactly the same, but instead of an accusation, it's because of this. It was Ayase holding her D-sword, who's looking at me with hate in her eyes. I couldn't hear what she was saying, but she was whispering something to herself. I shivered. It was going to get bad. It was going to get very bad, very fast. I needed to get out of here now. Okay, not quite, but kind of. Like, it's kind of the exact same thing. Just shows up angry with a murder weapon. Misumi was calling me. Rimi was standing next to him, waving. I blinked and looked around me. I wasn't holding Rimi in my arms. Ayase was nowhere to be seen.
ドキドキした。
I mean, that was, I mean, to be fair, that one did stay wholesome until, well, no, I mean, the last bit wasn't even particularly that violent. It stayed pretty wholesome. I like, yeah. Any kind of fighting terrified me, and I'd seen enough yandere girls in 2D. I didn't need any in 3D, especially not ones who were in love with me and also had enormous swords they could pull out of nowhere. I quickly chased after them. Every time, just sadness. Don't remember, so nooch.
それって、
Remy seemed lost in thought.
もしかしてご両親に紹介するみたいな流れ。
Remy said something so ridiculous, my mouth fell open.
だとしたら心の準備がまだ。
She's good. Like, she's like, I can't let him go home. I mean, that's a good plan for that. That's a good approach.
そうじゃなくて。
And suddenly, a high-pitched sound stabbed my ears. It was like a girl's scream. Oh, I don't want to think about this one. Okay, I think I figured out why it stops sometimes. It's because there's like some kind of sound effect or visual effect that has to catch up with it. Okay, that makes it easier for me to tell when I need to start reading again. I was so confused by that for the longest time because it did the same thing in I think it was Robotics Notes Dash was the one that really like made it hard. Or no, it was Elite. It was because when I was trying to catch up to, yeah, probably both of them, but it kept doing that, and I was like, well, how am I supposed to know when I should start reading? Now I know. I guess it's just, you just wait a second. Be patient. Which is not something I'm good at. Anyways. She'd met several police officers after what happened with her sister, and didn't have a high opinion of any of them. Oh. Or... yeah, I wonder if that was there because you didn't learn that until later. That's right, nothing was wrong at all. I was being silly. Yeah, it's skipping like some things, but not other things. Nothing was wrong with the world at all. Okay, or maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe everything I just said was wrong. You spoke quietly. And more zippy zaps.
少なくともあの時あの場所では4つの妄想がシンクロしてた。
Is this one that I need like a specific... Again, I think I'm good, because I did at least 11. It says at least 11, I did at least 11. Alright. And I don't remember what I did for this one, so nooch away. I cut her off. I put my hands tight over my ears. And more skippy skips. I don't know why it's... just like a line or two that gets... that goes unskipped. It saved me when I was in trouble. Kept my mind from breaking. More yeah, this is just... yeah. I don't know. Everything I thought I'd learned just now, everything I thought I figured out, I know nothing. No. No! I have to live through this again. Mi's number, Nanami's number. Yeah, he calls Misumi. Oh yeah, there's another reason for Misumi to exist. I think I didn't. Oh yeah, this is where I stopped doing the delusions because she said to. But I don't think it matters that much. Like, or maybe it does. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I did the first time. So it should be really easy to tell which ones I did do, which ones I didn't do. Let's do a green here, because red seems pretty obvious what's gonna happen. Smushed by a car. I'm curious what happens with green. I don't know why I made that face. I took a step forward. Or I tried to, at least. But my legs refused to move. They wouldn't budge. I realized my knees were shaking. I didn't have the courage. I wanted to die so badly, but the fear of death kept me from taking another step. I wanted to die, but I was also scared of death. It made no sense. I wasn't even sure how I felt anymore. Did I want to die? Or did I want to live? Which was it? I clenched my jaw. I closed my eyes. I told myself again and again that I wanted to die. But my legs refused to move. The cars were speeding by me incredibly fast. In my mind, I saw myself being struck and killed by one of them. The thought made me tense up and freeze. In the end, all I could do was drop to my knees. Even after all that had happened, I was still just a pathetic little wimp. I didn't have the guts to kill myself, so I was reduced to wishing that maybe one of the cars would lose control and slam into the sidewalk and kill me that way. How easier it would be if I could die without having to do anything myself. Ain't that the truth? Did I say that out loud? What? Who? What? Huh? Who said that? What? No, it's a crazy thing to think. That's crazy. Alright. But right now, Saratan was all I had. I hate you, Sarah. I hate you, Saratan. You're the worst. Dude, red. Rimi had left me. Nanami was missing. And Senna had tried to kill me. Kozupi hadn't tried to stop her. Yua was my enemy. And Ayase was in the hospital. Hold on, why am I reading this? I do that one. That's the plan, yeah. Why? Come to me, sweet embrace of death. I got out the box beneath my bed. If I remembered right, I kept a knife there. For a while, I'd had this ridiculous idea that walking around with a knife made you cool. Looking back, it was idiotic. I mean, I feel like every human being on Earth has a phase where they're like, this makes me cool, and then you just look like an idiot. I'd stopped when the police had started doing more stop and frisk stuff. Sure enough, there was a folding knife in the box, among keychains, trading cards, and old pens and pencils. I flipped open the blade. It shone strangely in the light. It was a little rusty. I hadn't taken it out in almost a year. But if it was going to slip my wrists, what would I care about some rust? That's a fair point. Depressing, but fair. Like, his rationale is sound, at the very least. I was holding Seiratan in my left hand. I held the knife up against my wrists. The blade felt chilly against my skin. The cold made me think of death. I closed my eyes. I took 3 deep breaths. All I had to do was drag the knife hard across my skin. Just a single motion of my right hand, it would all be over. Boy, I forgot how much fun this part of the game is. I forgot how much fun this section of the story is. So just a rip-roaring good time all around. My heart was pounding. My non-existent heart sounded like a loud drum beating in my chest. What did it care? It wasn't even real. My head felt like someone was pouring cold ice into it. I couldn't stop shaking. If anything, my body's shaking was just getting even worse. What did it care? It wasn't even real. Cut. Slit your wrists, and then you can disappear. Don't though. Don't do that. I screamed, trying to work up the energy to die. Cut. I'm not saying all those. Cut to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12, 24 cut. Cut times 24. I counted them. The shaking was so violent that I dropped my Seiratan figure. The knife was still pressed up against my skin. The hand holding it was shaking too. I threw away the knife and curled up in my chair. I was so pathetic. I didn't even have the courage to die. My life was worthless, but I couldn't even die. I was a disgusting monster and couldn't even end my own life. I was so pathetic, so useless. I didn't even really want to live. I was just scared of dying, scared of disappearing. What did I care? I'm not even real. Oh boy. In the end, I just had to hope that somebody else would kill me. I couldn't do it myself. I was such a failure that I couldn't even kill myself without other people's help. Yeah, I think you suck, Sarah. You're the worst. Your dumb outfit with eyes on it. Get the hell out of here. Seiratan was smiling. I felt disgusted at myself for making her say those things. I was a worthless piece of shit. Well, you don't have to. No. No! Damn it! We have to go from... No! No! I hate it. My heart. I don't remember what I did. Did I do green? I think I did red, right? Last time. I can't remember. We'll say green. I did green. I did red. Yeah. Here's green. Oh no, I didn't do anything. That's right. Everything from here on out, I did the neutral because survival confirmed. All right, you cheered me up. Thanks. That's really funny. When I opened it, did she say that? Or... That's so funny. When I opened the door, I froze. The way she was acting was just so normal. She was the same overly cheerful girl I knew so well. And I could see a white bandage on her right hand, too. When I'd gotten that phone call hours ago where she told me to give back her right hand, her voice had sounded so awful. And now here she was, smiling at me. She had a bandage on her right hand, too. It didn't make sense. Nanami's presence here didn't make sense. Oh, now I see. This was just another delusion. I never even had a little sister named Nanami. That's right. This had to be right. I ignored Nanami and went back to sit down on my sofa. I gripped the Seiratan figure again. I was holding it a little too tightly, and my hand hurt a little, but even that pain was a delusion. Oh, yeah. Yeah, does he look a little bummed? The whole world was just a delusion taking place inside my brain. Me and everything I was seeing right now, all delusions, all fake. Hey, no need to make it personal there, Nanami. Ouch.
ちょっと、そんな言い方しなくてもいいじゃん。お兄だからって何言っても許されるとか思ってる？
黙れよ。もうそう妹が。
妄想？
I leaned back on the sofa and looked up at the ceiling. I started to count the rust spots there, for no real reason. I didn't want Nanami to be in my field of vision. It would just make me even sadder. Not that it mattered how sad I was if I didn't even exist.
ねえ、お兄。
I remember
本
this.
当に平気？いつもと全然様子が違うけど。
She was worried about me? My non-existent sister was worried about me. Somehow that pissed me off. Why'd she even come into my room anyway? I hadn't said she could.
あ、わかった。お腹空いたんでしょう。
I clenched my jaw hard.
だったら、ナナが何か作ろうか？
どれ？
ん？鳥って言った？鶏肉？
I hadn't said anything about chicken.
鶏肉だと、やっぱ唐揚げか
Oh,
な。
now I want some
で
fried
も
chicken.
一人で作ったことないし。
That good smell from earlier is gone too, so you probably ate it all.
あ、別に
I
お
don't even
兄
know what
の
it
リクエスト
was,
があった
but
から
they ate
作
it.
るわけじゃないからね。ナナも
Probably
今
didn't
日は
save
鶏
any
肉
from
で
me.
何か作りたいなって思ってただけだよ。
Jerks. This Nanami was really starting to make me mad. The fact that she was just like the real one was only making it worse. No, wait. Had Rimi told me that there was never a real Nanami in the first place? So maybe this was the real one. The real Nanami? My head was starting to hurt. So I stopped thinking. It didn't even matter. It was all just a delusion anyway.
包帯取れ。取ってみろ。ボケが。
包帯って、あ、これ？転んで打撲しただけだし。
Bruised. Was that true or a lie? I'd know if she took it off.
ほんと、わがままなお兄だな。じゃあ約束してよ。ナナが包帯取ってみせたら、お兄も元気出すって。
I could hear the sound of rustling cloth echo quietly throughout the room. My ears were ringing. My head hurt. But this was all just a delusion anyway, so I didn't care.
はい、これで満足？って、ちょっとお兄、わざわざ取ったんだから、ちゃんと見てよ。
I slowly lowered my gaze. Nanami had rolled up her sleeve and was showing me her right wrist, and on her thin arm... I don't like that dripping! Boy, every time I think they hit the ceiling, they just punch right through. I could see dripping blood. Cut into the wrist were the words.
その目、誰の目？
Oh, what a dick. What a delusional dick. There was a flash of light across my vision. When it disappeared, the bizarre cuts on her wrist were gone. It took a moment to catch my breath. I bit down hard on my lip. Nanami was rubbing her wrist on the spot where the bandage had been.
青あざ、だいぶ消えてくれたな。最初はすごく腫れてたんだよ。
I didn't know if that was true or not. There wasn't any kind of injury there, but a moment ago there had been. Nothing made sense anymore. I didn't want to think about any of it. Back to the rust spots. Leaned my head back on the sofa again.
ねえ。ナナミ、
I called out to the girl in front of me, who might or might not be my sister.
お前が本物でも偽物でもどっちでもいいよ。
There was only one thing I wanted now.
僕を殺してくれないか。
Oh. God. This whiplash moment. Like... Where would her sword be on the tier list? Let's see, we got Senna, ISA, Rosapie's down at the bottom. Hers would probably, I think third would definitely be Remy. Hers are definitely third. All the evil in the world, all the chaos in the world. Is it just? Let's see. So that's the first three, and then I think Takami's would be number 4. It's pretty cool too. Takami's would be number 4. Sarah, you suck. You're not part of the list. Go away. Alright, I didn't pick one last time, so what is this one of the relevant ones? Okay, according to this one should be neutral, which is what I picked last time, but we'll follow it. We'll do what the paper says. Do what the website says. Just do it. Anyways, tier list. Takami, number 4. So number 5. What would number 5 be? Kill me. This is so silly. Oh, we were gonna get some. It's gonna be very short-lived because of skip mode, but we're gonna get that sick ass song. Yeah. Wait for it. Gotta have pleasant memories and reminiscence. And you're making it weird. Stop making it weird. I'm disgusting. Come on. It's really quiet. Oh, yeah, I knew it was gonna be super short-lived, but it's still. Yeah, why is it? Oh, because you know what? This one's it's because I assume it's because of the graphic effect. Like, this is stuff that should be skip moded because I've seen it before, but gross. But because there's like the weird graphic, I guess I don't know if it doesn't register. It's weird, man. I don't want to read all this again. It's gross. Icky. God, I love that song. God, I hate this part. It's so gross. Hazuki, you sick fuck. It's so nasty. Oh, I lost track of my tier list. Number 5. The only ones left are Yua and Nanami. And it would probably go Yua Nanami. So there's my list. My Chaos Head D-Sword list from best to worst. There you go. Some quality content. Everybody likes tier lists, right? That's a thing. Oh, is this new stuff? It is new stuff. Okay, I should be reading this then. Shinsen Station was one station away from Shibuya on the Inokashira line. By train, it only took a minute to get there. The station itself was covered by a tunnel, and the only light from the outside that came from the entrance at the end of the platform. I feel like this is the same, but I'm gonna trust skip mode. I'm gonna trust it. Because of the earthquake, all the lights were off. It was far darker than usual. Aoi Sena stepped inside, supporting the body of Kozue Orihara as she walked. There was no need to buy a ticket. There weren't any station attendants around, and the ticket machines weren't working either. Shiwa looked over at the rails and saw that they were badly bent. Of course, the trains hadn't been running since yesterday. Kozue occasionally moaned in pain, but she was still unconscious. There was blood on her forehead. She'd been caught up in a building collapse during the earthquake, and she hadn't woken up since. Gigalomaniac powers couldn't heal injuries. Yeah, I remember all this. I guess I'll just roll with it. There's not, that much at this point. I don't, I'm just gonna roll with it. Pain made your brain realize the injury was real, whether you wanted it to or not. You couldn't create shared awareness that the injury didn't exist. You couldn't make it so it never happened. Your human instincts wouldn't let you. And with Kozue unconscious, there was no way to create a shared awareness either. Senna could do nothing for Kozue right now. When she reached the empty platform, Senna set Kozue down and leaned her up against the wall. She wore a frown on her face. She gave Kozue only a glance before looking out toward the rest of the station. She glared at a single point on the platform, teeth gnashing in rage.
やっと見つけた。
The end of the platform were two figures. Okay, this is different. I see now why it was different. One, a tall man wearing an expensive suit. He gave off an aura of elegance and distinction. He stood up straight and tall with a confident smile on his lips. Yep, that is definitely the expression on his face right now. Yep. The other was a homeless man dressed in filthy rags. His hair was a mess and his beard was far too long. Okay. The expressions are one thing, right? It's like, okay, you have X amount of portraits. What do you mean his beard was long? Look at him. What are you talking about? He's got like 5 stubbles max. Are they talking about is there a third person there and they haven't gotten to him yet? It's whatever, but it's just so jarring when it's like describing, it's like, I can see it. That's not the case. What do you mean? I don't know if I can get over this. His beard, look at that beard. His head was slumped forward, so you couldn't see his face clearly. Oh man, that beard though. Look how long that beard is. That's incredible. The two were polar opposites. I need to get over it, otherwise I will make no progress if I don't get over this, but holy shit. Okay, I just ignore it. It doesn't matter. I'm over it. And yet, they were standing together silently on the empty platform. They had one thing in common, though. Senna hated both of them. Genichiro Norose and Issei Hatano. She could never forget their names.
母さんと妹を殺した。その二人が揃ってお出迎えか。
Once, Senna's mother and little sister had met a terrible fate right in front of her eyes. Those two, a terrible fate is a hell of an understatement. That was fucked up. The two of these two were the ones responsible.
私の本意ではなかったんだ。
Oh, go. No, shut up. Like I said this last time. I have zero pity for this dude. This dude fucking sucks. The homeless man, Hatano, sounded sad as he spoke.
あの実験を止めようとした。だが、私一人では動き出した歯車は止められなかった。この男が。
Hatano glanced over at Norose. Norose said nothing. He remained aloof and undisturbed.
この男が実験の継続を指示した。私はあの結果を望んではいなかった。
What a bitch. what a douche.
悪いのはこの男。
I mean, I will say Norose is definitely worse. Shut up. I don't like at this point. I don't even know if he's saying that or if he's like being made to say that. It doesn't matter. Like he's a piece of shit. Norose is worse. I will say that. This guy. Senna felt like she was going to throw up as she listened to her father speak. Yeah.
お前は母さんと妹を見殺しにした。
Yeah, tell him.
それが厳然とした事実だ。
Let him
食え
have
て
it.
いるなら どうして逃げた？
Speak that truth.
世界を守るためだ。
でたらめを。
親に逆らうのは感心しませんね。
Narose spoke for the first time.
確かに君の家族が悲劇的な結末を迎えたのは私が指示した結果です。
Yeah, but he's the one who put them in the situation to begin with. Like, I agree. You're like significantly more culpable, but like, he's not innocent. He sucks.
もう十分データは取れていたので、ね。
He's also a monster.
実に有意義な実験でした。
有意義？
Senna real booted the D-sword in her hand. The shockwave of its reality shook her long black hair.
この男を殺せセナ。こいつが元凶だ。
Honestly, I say kill them both.
言われなくても。
Senna was already running. She got closer without even taking the time to raise her sword. Her speed was incredible. Her target was Genichiro Norose. Genichiro? Did I say Genichiro? Genichi Norose. She swung the sword. It sliced through the air, and Norose's head went flying. Senna watched it go. Wow, that was easy. All right, we can all go home. Norose's head suddenly blurred in midair. It changed into the face of her father. Oh, shit. She gasped and looked at the headless corpse in front of her. A moment ago, it had been wearing a suit. Now it was dressed in the rags of a homeless man. It slumped and fell backwards. Senna's eyes went wide with shock as she turned to look at Hatano. Well, that's gonna create even more trauma, I think. He looked up at her too. A mocking smile appeared on his bearded mouth. His face blurred, his body blurred. Oh, this fucking piece of shit. And in the next moment, Senna was standing in front of a man she'd never seen before. His age, face, and bearing were all totally different than her father's. Senna was confused. She stared again at the head of the man she'd just killed. It was lying on the ground now, spilling blood everywhere. It was her father's face. It was her father's head. Senna couldn't look away from it. A hallucination induced by delusions. That's what this was. Senna's breathing got shallower and more violent.
セナちゃんさ。
The man who had been her father a moment ago was now someone totally different, was calling her by her first name.
君が今やったことって結局お父さんと同じっすよね。
This was what Senna had wanted for the past 6 months. This was what she had wanted a moment ago. But for some reason, now she started to panic. Her father's eyes were staring at her from their lifeless sockets.
父親の首跳ねて殺すってえぐいな。
Why was it such a mental shock to her? Without knowing why, she felt the sound of something snapping deep inside her ears. Jesus, dude. I heard a voice. It was the voice of Senna's heart. I followed the maddening scream to Shinsen Station. But by the time I got there, it was already too late. There was a faint smell of blood inside the dim station. Kozupi was lying up against the wall. She wasn't conscious. And on the platform, I could see Senna sitting with her back to me. She was looking down, and her long hair made it impossible to see the look on her face. Next to Senna was a headless corpse. I realized that the round thing a short distance away had once been its owner's head. It was Hatano, I realized, and I bit my lip.
こいつはラッキーっすね。
A man was standing on the tracks. The man was wearing a suit, but he had a backpack on his back, too. The machine inside was making an awful noise. Mamoru Suwa, a detective assigned to Section 1 of the Metropolitan Police, and also a real piece of shit. I met him before, and I knew what he had done.
もともとは目障りな旗の親子を処分しに来たんすけどね。西条くん、君が自分から火に飛び込んできてくれて感謝感激っす。君を見かけたら捕まえろってことになってるんすよ。
誰に？
内緒っす。
He had a grin on his face. The way he smiled reminded me of Bon, his partner. But the difference was this. Bon's smile was an act, to make someone let their guard down. Sua's sly grin was a reflection of who he really was.
あんたは
Oh,
ノロセの居場所を知ってる？
西条くんさ。
Sua shook his head and sighed. Take your asymmetrical face and get out of here!
口の利き方に気をつけてほしいっすね。自分の方が年上っすよ。
Respect your piece of shit. I carefully jumped down from the platform onto the tracks, keeping my eyes on Sua at all times. I put myself between him and Senna, who still wasn't moving.
バンっていう人を殺したのはあんただ。
だから
刑事のくせに人を殺すなんて。
君には言われたくないっす。
I clenched my D-sword tighter.
あんたみたいなやつに敬語を使う義理なんてないよ。
あのさ、お前に言われたくねえって言ってるんだよ。
Even from this distance, I could see it clearly, the way the smile disappeared from his face.
お前も人殺しだろ。
To me, it looks bigger than ever, but... No, 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 not getting caught up on that again. Nope.
お前は葉月志乃を殺した。俺は今すぐにでもお前をぶち殺したいんだよ。
Shino Hazuki, the nurse who was behind the New Gen killings. Both her and Sua were believers in the cosmic church of the Divine Light. But was that all? I gulped.
信仰の救いのためにそれは自制するが、その代わり
俺が責任持って心を殺してやる。
I went to raise my D-sword, not that raising it would help anything. I just did it out of reflex, and just like I thought, it did nothing at all. The next thing I knew... Oh? The next thing I knew, I was in a dark room. There was a man there, standing and talking to an old man displayed on a monitor.
諏訪君、君と葉月君にやってもらいたい修行があるのだ。
He looked like he had a preference for dragon-type Pokemon. I can't get over how much he looks like that guy. It's crazy. It's insane how much he looks like that guy.
はい。
Also, that buzzing is going to drive me nuts.
人を殺してもらいたい。
相手は誰ですか？
相手が何者かに意味はない。
と申しますと、
特に決まりはないと言っておこう。殺す対象、殺し方はこちらで指示する。我らが進めているプロジェクトノアを完成させるため、西条匠という少年に心理的揺さぶりをかける必要があるのだ。
揺さぶりですか？
恐怖を与えるのだ。しかしその少年の秘めた力は強大だ。直接的な行動はこちらの身に危険を及ぼしかねん。故に連続猟奇殺人事件を起こす。
たったそれだけのために殺人を。
不満かね？
シノもその修行に参加しなければ
I
なり
mean,
ません。
honestly, this does make a lot of sense as to why, like, the killings, like, the killings were literally designed specifically to fuck with this one kid. Yeah, that makes sense.
当然だ。 これは信仰の理想郷を築くためであり、同時に君たちに信仰の救いをもたらすだろう。
そういうことであれば。
時に葉月君はお腹に君の子を授かっていたな。
God, it was his
予
kid.
定日はいつかね。
あと2ヶ月ほどです。
I mean, that's. Oh my God, I can't.
その子供、信仰の救いのために捧げたまえ。
殺せとおっしゃいますか。
Oh no, she'll do that. Don't worry about it.
聖なる犠牲だよ。こう捧げれば、君と葉月君には大いなる信仰の救いがもたらされるだろう。
大いなる信仰の救い。かしこまりました。すべて教祖様の仰せのままに。きっとシノも喜びます。信仰の救いあれ。
I'm sure she'll be thrilled to hear that she has to. I mean, honestly, yeah, she probably would be thrilled. These people are nuts. Also, that buzzing was the worst. And after that, I was forced to experience all the new gen murders. 7 murders, 14 dead. I was forced into the viewpoint of the victims, killed like they were. A man in a Darth Spider cosplay and a woman dressed as a nurse killed me again and again. He was wearing... Okay, that... I don't know... I don't think that really changes anything, but it, to me, it adds so much... It makes it so much better that he was in the Darth Spider cosplay while he was doing the killings. That's wonderful. I don't know why that adds so much, but holy moly, that's great. Oh man, that's like, and she was just dressed as a nurse. She wasn't in disguise at all. She's a nurse. Like, what? All right. The pain, the terror. I was forced to share the victim's sensations. Thanks. Oh, please don't focus on pregnant man. Focus on, like, I don't know, the one where people jump from a roof. That was relatively tame compared to the rest. Fuck, I'll take vampire over. Like, please don't focus on pregnant man. I beg of you. How many times had I died? 3 times? 1 time? 7 times? Well, you know, it's probably gonna be 14 by the end of this, right? 4 times, 2 times, 5 times. The human flesh tasted pretty good. Oh, the hand. I mean, yeah, they did call it yummy hand, right? It hurts. No more. The Darth Spider outfit's pretty surreal. Good comedy, actually. That's what I'm saying. Classy, you know what I mean? No, why am I complimenting him? That guy sucks. Damn it, why does he have such good taste in cosplay? Fuck. So, how many times had I died? Who died? I didn't die. The monster was like something out of a horror movie. From what Suo was saying, that thing was actually from Spark Wars too. But so what? The human flesh tasted pretty good. The bones too. Why is Darth Spider black? Dude, you can't just ask Darth Spider wisely. You can't just say that. Shino Hazuki is sexy, but scary. She's crazy. That's why she's sexy. What the fuck is happening? Darth Spider was the bones. What was the human flesh? I see we're back in, like, unintelligible country. How many times that I died for good comedy? Was it good comedy? I hadn't died. I died. Die. Dead. Corpse. Surreal. No more. Bones. I don't want to die. Black. Dead. So kill me. That was fun. The port in Sua's bag was making a strange noise. Sua had heard it enough that he was used to it by now. And it was because of this sound that he was able to destroy the mind of a gigolomaniac like Takumi Nishijo too. He gave a short, silent prayer of thanks to God. Sua wanted to make him suffer. He was the one who'd driven Hazuki to suicide. Hazuki was Sua's childhood friend. The two of them had lived together for their whole lives. Several years ago, don't make me feel for these two psychos. I don't give a shit. Several years ago, Sua had decided to be a detective, and Hazuki a nurse. He still remembered what she'd said to him on that day.
私、守の子供を産みたい。
Their parents were both believers in the cosmic church of the Divine Light. God and the leader had been with them since the day they were born. Both Sua and Hazuki were treated as the church's shared property, practically raised by it. It had been the leader's will that they be together. And the two of them had been faithful to the church's teachings too, even offering the life of the unborn baby in Hazuki's stomach. Awful. Even after Hazuki had become a martyr for the faith, he still believed that everything they'd done was right. There were 7 different cases in all the New Generation Madness. Oh my god. Sua and Hazuki had been behind them all. When his partner, Yasuji Ban, had pointed out the contradiction in the group dive video, he'd been very worried. He'd uploaded the video to YouTube, and he'd made it using memory projection, but several days had passed, and his memories were a little blurry. He didn't remember the scenery very well, but without it, the video wouldn't look real. He'd ended up going all the way out to Cornelius Tower and looking at the photo in the lobby. It had given his video the reality he wanted, but the photo itself was flawed. He'd never imagined that the skyline could have changed so much since the photo was taken. Of course, the leader had cleaned up that mess easily. The leader of the Cosmic Church of the Divine Light had many powers. He had many political connections, and his followers occupied many posts in the Metropolitan Police. No matter how much Bond tried, it was going nowhere. Sua's job as a detective, Hazuki's job as a nurse, the leader's help in controlling the media and the police, the NOAA system terminals provided by Nozomi Technologies. Sua and Hazuki had used all these things to kill, and keep killing. And for only one reason, to frighten Takumi Nishijo, to put him under extreme psychological pressure. After he awakened as a gigalomaniac, he would be kidnapped and his code sample harvested. Or, if that failed, they hoped to lure out the real Takumi Nishijo and capture him for his code sample instead. Did they capitalize code sample here, but not... Why do I get hung up on these things? It's fine, it doesn't matter. Either the real Takumi Nishijo or the copy would suffice equally well. God, what is happening? Okay. Alright. He'd even used a wheelchair to pretend to be the real Takumi Nishijo himself. The divine command had been given to both him and Hazuki, and they would carry it out no matter the cost. And now, he'd lost Hazuki, but the trial God had set out for him was overcome. He thought of the woman he'd loved, and who'd loved him in return, gritting his teeth in sorrow. And then he began to walk toward Takumi Nishijo, the boy whose mind he'd just destroyed. Aoi Sena was sitting on the edge of the platform, holding her father's severed head in her hands. Her chest was stained with blood. She was laughing. Drool fell from her lips. Her eyes were out of focus. Sua gave her a single cold glance. She was a goner, he thought to himself. There was certainly no need to kill her. They had all they needed from her. Of the gigalomaniacs brought to Tokyo for Project Noah, only 2 had not had their code samples harvested. Yua Kusunoki could be left out, as she was never part of the plan, which left Takumi Nishijo and Kozue Orihara. The fact that both of them had come here, right into his hands, showed that the divine light was guiding him. This was proof that what he was doing was righteous. He gave thanks to heaven and the leader. I hate reading all this. This guy sucks. I don't want to be on your side, man, even for a second. I don't want to be from your perspective, my dude. He walked over to Takumi, who was slumped forward on his knees, and tried to force him to his feet. Takumi's body was completely slack. He couldn't even stand. His mind was completely destroyed. Sua gave a snort of satisfaction and began to drag him out of the station. Oh Oh god. Oh god, what is happening? Please. I'm scared. I don't know what this is, and I'm scared of it. I can't even tell whose voice that is. Oh, okay. Kozupi was screaming something. She looked like she was suffering. She looked like she was in pain. She looked like she was having fun? I blinky blinked. Where's Kozupi? Blinky blinked? She was crucified on some weird object. Rimi was tied up under her. Kozupi was weird. Her clothes were all ripped, and something was moving. Moving? What's moving? Skin. Skin. Like cheeks, or necks, or arms. Belly button. Thighs. What the fuck is that? Moving. Squish, squish. Lots of things were squirming inside of Kozupi's skin. Not 1, 10, 20, 30? They had to be parasites. Icky bugs. Fun times. Kozupi shook her head really hard. Her eyes were all messed up. Drool was dripping from her lips. She looked really stupid. It was funny. There was something on her head, too. It had lots of cords, like a toy, like one of those morphing ranger helmets. Mighty Morphin Ranger helmets?
楽しいことでもあったのですか、西条拓海。
It was a man she'd never seen. Who?
なるほど。無意識に折原梢と妄想をシンクロさせているのですか。随分と物好きですね。そんなに焦らずとも、彼女の次は君にたっぷりとあの拷問を受けさせてあげますよ。
My next? No, please. My next? No, please. My next? No, please. No more pain. No more hurt.
タク、あなたなら止められる。今なら止められる。あなたなら。
My hands were bound behind me a moment ago, but the ties had loosened and come undone, like they had a will of their own. Rimi was next to me, tied up. Her eyes were locked on me. They were begging me. There was a huge device in the center of this dome-shaped space, giving off an eerie roar. It was Noah too, and she wanted me to destroy it. Her eyes were begging me. A sharply dressed man, Norose, was standing with his back to me, watching Kozupi's torture. I've heard girls go crazy for a sharp-dressed man. I wish I hadn't said that. He hadn't noticed my movements. There was no one else in the room. Suwa wasn't here either. If I acted now, even I could do it. I was the only one who could. I was scared. If Norose saw me, if I failed, the thought made me shiver. This whole game was screwed up, putting me in charge of the fate of the world. But I had to do it. I mean, what's the worst he can do? Shove a stake through your ass and leave you there for 3 days? That's ridiculous. I had an easier time convincing myself than I thought I would. Maybe I'd gotten stronger. That's right. I'm strong. I'm strong. I stood up, slowly. Norose hadn't noticed yet. For the last boss, he was kind of an idiot. Or did he just really like to watch Kozupi suffer? It made me sick and angry. I gritted my teeth. Come out, D-Sword. A ripple appeared in space, and then a pale light. I grasped it. I could feel it. It wasn't hot, or cold, or hard, or soft. I pulled it out from the Dirac Sea. The huge sword fit neatly in my hand.
Nani?
Too late, asshole! That's really fun to say. Too late, asshole! I real booted the D-Sword. I sent particles into the dead spots of everyone here. I didn't even need to think to do it. It didn't matter how it worked. I just had to picture it in my delusions. I held the sword tight with both hands. The light of the D-sword changed from red to black. Oh wow, we're jumping right to this, huh? I'm down. Narose looked at me like he couldn't believe what was happening. He staggered back in panic. I'd won. I grinned. I raised the sword. I formed a delusion. This was a sword of light. It had incredible power, one that could slice through air itself. If I unleashed its full might and drew it, it could turn anything in the world to dust. You're making art. Oh, that's great, actually. I couldn't think of anything to say, so I gave up on the idea of screaming out a cool manga-style name. That's actually, that might be the best thing ever, is... That might be the best thing in the game. My special attack! Shut up! Couldn't think of anything. And I unleashed the power I'd given the D-sword at Noah 2. Two months later. Why do I feel like why does this feel like when you are just you go into a boss fight and you use a glitch to like skip a phase? I feel like we skipped a phase of Noah 2's boss fight, right? I feel like, I mean, to be fair, it was the worst phase, so I'm down to skip it, but fascinating. All right. 2 months later. There's not much blue in a winter sky, but it has a clear, crisp feeling you don't find in summer. Morning. I woke up to the sound of my alarm clock and looked up at the sky as I brushed my teeth. It had been 2 months since the big earthquake. Shibuya was still being rebuilt. After the new year, the city was starting to regain some of its old glory. A voice called me. I turned around to see Rimi coming up the stairs. I hadn't seen her in her uniform since that day. I don't like the fact that Sua's still out there and being him. I don't like that. He's just around now. I don't know. She smiled at me and gave me a salute. She had a bag from the convenience store in her hands, with bread, eggs, and milk inside. She went over to the sink and started to cook. How do you cook? Oh, I just noticed next to the storage unit, yeah, there's a sink, and I think that's a washing machine? I don't know why I never noticed those. Is there a stove too? How do you cook? She'd been coming over and making my meals every day for the past 2 months. She'd never really cooked before, she said, so this was her way of getting practice in. I wanted to tell her not to use me as a test subject, but it made me happy to eat a girl's homemade cooking, so I didn't say anything. Suime Academy had been closed since the earthquake and was finally reopening today. I decided that this was the perfect time to quit my quasi-hikikomori life and start actually going to school. Right. Rimi cracked an egg as she spoke. This is too wholesome. I don't trust it. It was too cold to eat outside in the middle of winter. Rimi took the 2 plates of toast and scrambled eggs she'd made over to a small, low table. Then we both sat down on the sofa. I mean, it can't be that much warmer in here. It's just a metal storage unit, right? Does it have any insulation? I mean, I guess it looks like it kind of might have some insulation. I can't imagine it's that much warmer inside the big metal box. Rimi took over the 2... Oh, yeah.
いただきます。
いただきます。
We put our hands together, and then I stretched out my hand for the butter on the end of the table. But since Rimi had tried to do the exact same thing, our fingers touched over the container. It was like something out of a bad romantic comedy. I chuckled, but still. My eyes met with Rimi's since she was sitting right next to me. My heart began to beat faster. Rimi didn't look away either, or move her hand away. We both sat there, frozen, fingers touching. Rimi wrapped her fingers around mine. She closed her eyes and tilted her jaw slightly upward. I gripped her hand back, softly, and then I moved closer.
朝から何イチャついてんの？
Whoa! I quickly backed away from Rimi. I looked over at the door. Nanami was looking at us, arms crossed and sighing. Also, she has both her hands, so this is bullshit. This is not real. I don't buy it. Oh god, what is happening? Stop. Why is this happening? Stop it. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Fine. There was still like it at Noah too, right? Like this is bullshit. This is garbage. Not real. I ain't buying it. Fuck off.
ナナミ、心臓に悪いことするなよ。
お兄とリミさんってほんと仲いいね。焼けちゃうな。ねえねえ、実際のところどこまで行ったの？どこまでって？またまたとぼけてないで教えてよ、リミさん。
Nanami had picked Rimi as her target, it seemed. She walked right into my room and grabbed my computer chair and sat down in it in front of Rimi.
キスは当然したとして、その先は？ちょっとからかわないでよ。
I don't know if it's better or worse that this isn't real. Like,
いいじゃん、教えて。教えない。じゃあ鬼、教えてよ。どこまで行ったか。
oh my god, stop. You're making it weird. You're making it weird. There's nothing to tell her. We hadn't even kissed yet. Why was I such a moron? I'd had plenty of chances. At this rate, I was never going to lose my virginity. I sighed glumly at what a loser I was, and then sipped my milk.
リミさんがのんびりしてるなら、ナナが鬼を奪っちゃうかな。
That doesn't even make... Stop. No, you're making it weird. You're making it extra weird. Stop it. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Please. I spat out my milk.
鬼、来たな。
お前。
冗談だよ。本気にされても困っちゃうってば。
Don't scare me like that. Just waiting. That shoe is dangling. That shoe is dangling. Waiting for it. The three of us headed to school together. Rimi was humming that Phantasm song. Three of us took the shortcut through Shoto Park, the one I always used. There were still the signs of the earthquake here in the park, like how part of the stone wall around the lake had fallen in. It was in great shape compared to the center of Shibuya, though.
おはようございます。
Why do I feel like in my mind I'm picturing this as like the Wizard of Oz? They're like skipping on the path to school, like picking up all the friends they made along the way. That's how I'm imagining this right now. Yua was sitting on the bench where I always sat. She turned to me with a nod and a kind smile.
西条くん、昨日はとても楽しかったです。昨日？
ユアと一緒に秋葉原まで買い物に行ったんだ。
あ、わかった。お人形さんでしょう。
フィギュアといえよ。
Figures? I knew. But yeah, we did go buy figures.
新しいセイラちゃん。 早速部屋に飾りました。私も行きたかったな。
リミってフィギュアに興味あるの？
Rimi gave me a little smile.
っていうか、タクの好きなもの、私も好きになりたいし。わあ、大胆発言。だったら今度一緒に買いに行きましょう。本当？ありがとうございます。
You and Rimi were good friends now. This is so wholesome and just complete nonsense. Wow. They all linked arms and continued on their way. Nanami and Yua had classes in a different building, so we said goodbye at the school entrance. As I was changing into my jacket, somebody blew on my ear. I shivered and leapt back. It was Ayase. Oh my god, she's so freaking cute. She had her mouth puffed out, lips forming an O.
おはよう、タクミ。
あ、おはよ
おはよう、あやちゃん。あやちゃん。
Ayase seemed a little bewildered by what Rimi had called her.
初めてよ。そんな呼び方をされたのは悪くないわ。でしょ？ファンタズムのライブがあるの。あさって。
The conversation suddenly jumped to a new topic. Ayase was still as hard to follow as ever.
よかったら来て。
う。僕に言ってるの？
タクミに言ってるのよ。それとリミも。あ、本当？絶対行くね。
Phantasm had split up, but I had heard they suddenly reformed this year. I didn't know what had prompted the change, but I wanted to hear Ayase sing again.
でも、
Oh,
タ
what
ク
a
ミは
dream.
渡さないわ。
Oh! I wasn't sure what but meant, but Ayase reached out a hand and softly rubbed my cheek, as if trying to put distance between me and Rimi.
じゃあね、タクミ。
Everybody wants a piece of this kid. Everybody wants a piece. She gave me a flirtatious smile and headed up the stairs. I watched her go in shock.
タク、鼻の下伸びてる。
Eyes up, mister. I covered my hand with my mouth. Wait, what?
冗談。
Wait, what? Oh my god, that's so funny! I don't... I can't... Oh my god! Okay, I'm okay. That's ridiculous! Oh my god, that caught me off guard. I was not I just went with it. Like, oh yeah, I covered my hand with my mouth. And then wait, what? I didn't know it, that's what it says. I thought I misread it, but I didn't misread it. Oh my god, alright. Okay. So he's covering his hand with his mouth somehow. I'm not sure how he's managing that. That's quite the. I don't know how that works. I guess. There, my. Oh, that's so funny. All right, I gotta move on. Otherwise, it'll never end. Oh, that's I needed that. So that was so good. When I got to the classroom, ah yes, the other one. How many more friends have we made along the way? Let's see. We've already met. We still need to come across Senna. Although Senna didn't really have a I'd be surprised if Senna recovered in 2 months. Again, assuming this is real, which is not. I find it hard to believe Senna would have recovered by now. Or ever. Anyways. Kozubi charged down the hallway at me with a dazzling smile on her face. And then she disintegrated, fell into a pool of acid. But she collided with a boy who was coming out of the classroom and landed hard on her butt. She apologized to him with tears in her eyes, and then finally made it to me. That has to be the most adorable good morning I've ever heard in my life. That's really cute. She makes the funniest noises. She was fidgeting. She looked up into my eyes. Kozupi pointed in the direction she'd just been running from. Oh, hey there, yep, there she is. I looked up again and saw Senna, leaning up against the wall. She had her arms crossed and an annoyed expression on her face. Senna had been in the hospital the past 2 months. Sua's psychological attacks had done lasting damage. Yeah. I mean, hey, it's good. Great. Senna looked up and slowly walked toward me. She was as scary as ever. She had a kind of air about her that suggested she might smack you across the face for no reason at all. I'd gone to see her in the hospital twice a week, but no matter how much I tried to talk to her, she never said a single word to me. It was painful, painfully, horribly awkward. Maybe she hated me, or maybe Senna was just an intimidating person. The air grew tense between the two of us, or maybe it was just that I was scared. Kozupi was extremely excited, but Senna certainly didn't look like she wanted to celebrate. For the first time, Senna spoke. I shivered. I couldn't look her in the eye. Senna offered me something. It was a small stick marked winner. She gave him the winning stick? Oh! What a monumentous gesture. I took it from her, a little confused. Senna gave me a and looked away. For some reason, her cheeks looked flushed, or was I imagining things? Oh my god. That shoe's still just dangling up here, just waiting for it to drop. Huh? She makes the funniest noise. I love her noises. They're so funny. Her sudden confession startled not just me, but Kozupi and Rimi as well. I thought for a moment that maybe she was just messing with me, but Senna didn't tell jokes like that. So... What? Is that some internet slang that they've... If it's not in here, if it's not in the list, then I'm gonna assume it's either a typo or more likely... Nope, there it is. Oh my god, I was there and then I clicked the wrong... Oh my god. I'm terrible. Short for majide, or really, seriously, used when you can't believe something's happening. Okay. Why would you do that to me? Why would you put that? Why? I don't... Internet slang. Like, I barely understand my internet slang. I don't need to add Japanese internet slang to that cocktail of non-understanding. Like, not only am I too old to understand the internet speak, I'm not even that old. I also just... There's also a language barrier. Stop!
言わせるな、このバカが。
She went from soon to dere, then back to soon. But still, this was so sudden. There was a beat, and then Rimi yelled in surprise. Kozupi was blinking her eyes in shock, seemingly unable to understand what was going on.
なんだ先畑。異論があるのか。
張りまくりだよ。そんなとにかくダメだって。
I like how that one doesn't even have letters. That's just a hilarious series of noises. I don't know why I keep repeating these. They're just so good. So funny. Wait, what? Rimi and Kozupi were totally confused, but I was the most confused person of all. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I looked up at the clear sky outside the window, unsure of how to react. It was only the first day of school, and so many fun things had happened already. Would these peaceful, happy days last forever? Or have they even lasted at all? This isn't real. It's not real. It's not real. I don't buy it. I hoped so. I really, really did. And then, suddenly, I saw myself reflected in the window. What I saw... Oh boy, here... Wait, wasn't me. It was an old man with wrinkled skin. Other shoe dropped. Yeah. The color and the light disappeared. I was sitting on the ground in a dark space, hands wrapped around my knees. In front of me was the only source of light. It was like a monitor, or a window, or a frame. Inside it, Rimi and Senna and Kozupi were laughing and talking. I couldn't hear what they were saying. As I looked at it, I didn't feel anything at all. Perhaps my mind had been destroyed. Suddenly I realized what I'd been seeing was my delusion, a 2D world that I'd escaped into, a total hallucination. How much of it was a delusion? Yeah. Yeah, no, I knew that. I turned around. Norose was standing there, but it was so dark that I could only see his feet. So, everything after that was just a delusion?
君のコードサンプルは採取できました。もう用済みですから、いつでも塵に帰ってもらって結構です。
Yikes. I didn't feel a thing. My mind had been destroyed. I shouldn't have been able to feel a thing. But for some reason, a single tear ran down my cheek. At the very end of everything, I turned back into a loser. I tried to run from a painful reality.
最後に幸せな夢を見られてよかったですね。
At the very end of everything, I turned out to be totally worthless. I'm sorry, Rimi. I apologized, but I didn't even know anymore why I had to apologize. I didn't feel any guilt. I decided to go back to the delusion I'd been enjoying. Eventually, someone would come along and kill me. Until that happened, I wanted to immerse myself in the happiness of the false world I had escaped into. Same. I mean, what? Huh? At some point, it must have started to rain. Maybe Noah too made the rain. Eyes above me, their gaze falling down like rain. Their gaze passes through the thick black rain clouds and falls down like rain. He's done for. The owner of the gaze speaks in my heart. I don't feel the cold of the rain. If anything, the drops on my face feel warm. I'd never felt a warm rain before. Was it cold? Was it because the dome where Noah 2 had been so very, very cold? I see the shattered remains of a city. I see despair. I see death. I see nothing. Nobody's here. Nobody's moving. Nobody's alive. All I hear is the unending sound of the falling rain. The ark has already set out on its journey. I couldn't stop it. There was nothing left in the future but despair. Is the rain going to keep falling? Until it's washed away everything, living and dead? Gently enveloping everything and washing it away? I could hear the whispers of his heart. Such a pure heart. I walk over to him. He's lying in the rubble. It's my fault this happened to him. If only I had handled things better, I could have kept him from getting involved. The guilt eats at me. So I blame myself. Oh, this is Remy! Man, I'm slow! I am slow! Forgive me. I'll put an end to your suffering, okay? He was born in such a sad way. And now he was going to die in such a sad way, too. His heart was delicate like glass. So timid and afraid. And broken because it was so pure. In the end, at least, I didn't want him to suffer. His empty eyes are looking up at me. I try to rid myself of all feeling. I'm watching, but I try not to see, so that I don't break it down crying right here. If, maybe, the only things in this world were you and me, and we kept looking at one another like this forever, would my world be only what was reflected in your eyes? And would your world be only what was reflected in my eyes? You are reflected in my eyes. I am reflected in your eyes. When I think about it that way, the world suddenly seems so much smaller. At least for the time you have left. I will become your world. I'll make it so that you don't have to see the painful world, the world of suffering, the world of sorrow. I whisper. I lean my head forward, and I spread out my hands. As if I'm about to take flight toward those rain clouds. Oh my god, it's over. I can't speak anymore. Or as if I'm trying to take all the rain into my hands.
あなたを見つめる妄想。殺してあげる。
Wings of light dance, like they were a gift given by heaven to send him on his way to the next world. Slowly, I drop to my knees in front of him. If I look you in the eye now, I'll cry. So, I'm sorry, I can't. I embrace his head softly. His body is so limp, like he's prepared himself for death.
辛いよね。ごめん。ごめんね。今、楽にしてあげるからね。
I could tell from the way he responded that it wasn't just me who wanted that. His smile looked so peaceful. His smile was so sad that the tears welled up, and even though I tried so hard to stop them, I didn't want to let him see me like that. He finally had peace. I didn't want him to worry anymore. Kiss him on the lips. They're cold and rough and just make me even sadder. But when I kiss him, he stops shaking. I feel happy that my warmth was able to help him. If I let go, he'll see me crying. If I let go, I'll want to kiss him again. If I let go, I'll let my selfish desires win, and I won't be able to kill him. I stab him in the chest, my lips still pressed against his. I can feel the blade tearing through the skin of his chest, ripping through the meat, sliding between the bones. This is fun. I sure do like these descriptions. And sinking through his body. I'm sorry. You can rest now. Goodbye. Is the sky so blurry because of the rain? Because of my tears? holding his body as it slowly dissolves into tiny fragments of light. I stretch out a hand toward the sky. Someone, tell me, where did that sky of ours go? Holy shit. So was that like... Okay. I need to unpack for a second. Also, this song is sick. We got a sick ass song. Okay. So was that... Obviously that's like the same, like, events, right? That last bit where she kills him. But was that the same, was it the same events leading up to it? Because it was definitely different in the... Oh, no, I get it. No, wait. I can't. So I'm trying to think, so the first ending, the Silent Sky, where he Uno reverses Sua and then gets turned into goo and then comes back from being turned into goo to Blasty Blast. That did that happen, or was that like what he saw, and then after that the 2 weeks later thing, or 2 months later, like was that what happened in his perspective after Sua broke his mind? Is that like I'm trying to think if these are like, if these two I guess you call them endings are alternate, or are they just different perspectives? My brain, I'm not brainy enough for this. But like that, okay. I think that's what I'm gonna go with. I have to land on something, otherwise I would go insane. I still think it's hilarious that one of the songs is called Fetishism Arc. I don't know which one it is. Golly gosh, I wonder. Find the Blue, I know that one. I've been listening to that one on YouTube. Actually, really quick, I'm just gonna take it aside to say that Kanako Ito has the voice of a freaking angel. I've been getting recommendeds in my YouTube. Gosh, I wonder why. I can't imagine why. But holy shit, like, I already knew that she had an incredible voice. I've been hearing a lot more. Anyways, that's a whole tangent. I'm rambling now. That's what happens when the game ends. I ramble. I'm rambling through the credits while an absolute banger plays in my ears. But yeah, so I'm gonna go with for now, because this might change as I get the other endings. You know, as I continue and get the whatever. I lost my train of thought. This might change, but right now I'm gonna work with my understanding is that the Silent Sky ending, and then whatever this ending is called, I'm sure it has like a name. They all have names. I lost my train of thought again. Man, my brain is broken. Chiyomaru Studios, Nitro Plus, Mages, you're all the best. I need to finish my thought. I'm gonna continue working on the information, on the assumption that the Silent Sky ending and then this ending are the same events. I assume Crying Sky. Okay, Crying Sky and Silent Sky. I am going to, in my brain, for now, until it has been established otherwise, I'm going to assume that they are the same events. It's the same chain of events, just the first one was from Takumi's perspective, that was, busted. And then the other one is from, you know, a different perspective. But it's hard. I'm not going to say the real perspective. I still don't know what's real anymore. Like, I'm still not sure what's real. If either of them are technically real, like, did either of those two, you know, perspectives, are either of those two perspectives real? All right, this is gonna drive me nuts, so I'm just gonna knock this out real quick because I have to know. Is it here? Have I unlocked it? Is it not unlocked? Oh, here. Fetishism art. What is this song? Okay, it's that one. Yeah, like. All right, fair enough. The Gospel of Hallelujah. Like, these are all freaking absolute bangers. But I feel like if I could just sit here and listen to it, but I feel like I'm in trouble. I don't think they like it when you do that. I have to say things. I have to add things. Otherwise, I get in trouble, I guess. I don't know. You're supposed to the whole thing. It's like I have to give my 2 cents, even if they're dumb. I'm rambling again. All right, Crying Sky. I got a thing. Whose eyes are those that are at 94%? I don't know what that means. See you later. Bye-bye.